Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. That's what I got.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jesse here with everybody's favorite Uncle Aaron, Jean-Claude Van Damme Mueller.
Hello, and I'm here with the other uncle that is not my boyfriend. We just live together, and
We just have sex.
we just use our penis. James.
He's with James.
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, everybody? We're Nerds. Nerds the podcast. It's been another week. We're here to talk about nerd stuff. No giant news this week. I mean, there was a She-Hulk trailer review, and there's always gaming news and stuff like that. But we're just here to do the damn thing. Let's talk about nerd stuff.
We're just here to make you feel good sexually.
Make me feel good.
Make me feel good.
Moneyball or whatever. Monster Ball.
Bro. Come on now.
You ever see that,
Come on
James?
now.
Monster Ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember trying to beat off to that scene, and
I think we all attempted it or so, because that was around the time when
That was Halle Berry
the
at,
internet
like-
was new-ish.
yeah,
Yeah.
And like those streaming sites like RedTube and shit were like new, so you could like search that kind of shit. I remember that. I probably tried to do that too. I think I probably
well, and
succeeded.
that was back when Halle Berry was like, holy shit, you know, like.
She probably still is super
Oh
fine.
no,
I've
she
seen
still
her.
is. Yeah, for sure. That was just when she was at her.
Oh, that was when she was in God form. She
Yeah.
was
Right.
fucking God mode, bro. Like, remember what was that movie, Swordfish?
Oh yeah.
With
Oh yes, with Hugh Jackman, bro.
Flavor Saver Travolta.
Yeah, where they're like hacking and they just on there. Yeah.
What did he do that was so funny, dude? I did the Zim. Did you see that shit? He was on some like award show and he was like like announcing or bringing up like some famous person and just totally got their name wrong, but the way he said it was super funny. Adele Dazeem.
Flavor Saver Travolta.
Flavor Saver. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
dude, it was Travolta with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman,
I worked
and Halle
at
Berry.
Blockbuster at the time. Both of those movies came out. And so I was like stoked for titties, and I rented that and I watched it, but it was brief. You know, she just is like laying in the sun and then just pulls the
Right.
sunshade down. And you see her tits, and you're like, yeah. But then I
Hell
heard
yeah.
in Monsters Ball, she's just getting smashed. You know, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right. And then can't even mute it because you see Billy Bob Thornton's ugly ass. You know, I
Yeah.
could not beat off to it. It was rough. Then I unmuted it just because I was like, well, it's not gonna have. I'll watch the rest of the movie, and I hear "Make me feel good," and I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
And then I realized maybe I'm missing the point, and this isn't supposed to be sexy.
It's supposed to be
sad.
kind of like debaucherous and sad, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just sad. It's supposed to just be like this lady is just trying to feel anything, and she doesn't realize the man that executed her husband is fucking her.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of feeling nothing, James is going to talk later about his first foray into trying out God of War 2018, which is a very fun stream last night. That was pretty awesome.
Hell yeah.
Looked like he enjoyed it some. So
Yeah, maybe. See.
yeah.
And also feeling nothing, we're gonna talk about She-Hulk, which I was excited about. So this is
Yeah. I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
no. I was
into-
excited before the
Oh.
trailer.
I was.
Oh yeah.
I was hopeful to see just like same thing with like Moon Knight, just to see like, ooh, what are they gonna do with this new hero that isn't just another Avenger thing? Like we kind of knew what the fuck we were gonna get with Falcon Winter Soldier. We knew what was gonna happen. We knew Loki was gonna be whatever it was. I haven't seen it, but I can imagine what it is. But like Moon Knight, I was thinking, man, I wonder what that's gonna be. Completely nothing like I thought it was gonna be. We already reviewed it. Go listen to that
right.
episodes. So She-Hulk, I was wondering, what are they going to do? Looks pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to do, but it looks cool. I'll watch it. And we're about to get into I think Disney Plus is about to start overlapping Star Wars and Marvel shit. Like it's taken them long enough. We're actually going to, like, they're not going to be, it would be one at a time. I think, isn't Obi-Wan and the next Marvel thing coming out at the same time?
I'm not sure. They're both sometime in the year. They're usually like one, then a week or two, then the other. But you might be
Yeah.
right because I do think it is June for both, right? I typed too loud. Right?
No, May is Obi-Wan.
Oh, maybe one.
Uh,
Maybe there's just less space in between
Yeah.
them now. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Well, either way,
I
we're
will
gonna get
say,
some stuff.
like, content wise, I think She-Hulk is going to be fun. I just of the CG. We'll get there, but man, it's bad. It looks like a
Looks fine to
Sci-Fi
me.
Channel show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you, and the worst part is James started talking about this. Fucking Hulk is there, and he looks awesome.
He still looks like he has good CG.
Yeah, and then She-Hulk
Yeah.
looks like I tried to do CG. Like it looks like I was like, it looks like we would have done it on Welcome to Tate's. Like if that was on Welcome to Tate's, you'd be like, holy shit.
I don't know. I didn't think it looked that bad.
You
Maybe
watched it on your phone,
I'll
didn't
take a
you?
look at it in the background while we do weeks.
Yeah, did you
And
watch
see,
it on your
'cause it looked
phone?
fun to
Because
me.
on your phone is one thing, right? And I'm not saying that like as a judgment. Most people watch it on their phones, but if you watch it on
Oh,
a
put it on the
it was pretty
screen.
bad.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because your phone ain't putting out 1080, and on a screen you're about to see all the blemishes. It
Yeah.
looks fuzzy, is what it looks like.
It looks like they have in the like mouth issues they have when they do de-aging too.
Yes, God, de-aging is one of those ones where when it was in what was that Age of Ultron, where like Tony Hawk, when Tony Hawk's like, "Chaw, dude, I'm doing ollie, dude." No, when Tony Stark's like, talking to his dad and all that, like
Yeah.
that was acceptable because in in universe, it was a computer program, right? So you're like, okay, I can peel back that layer. The Uncanny Valley is fine, right? Like because he's just
Yeah.
making it. But when they are like, it's actually Luke Skywalker, I'm like, no, please, God, please help me. But yeah, why don't we jump in our weeks just because we're gonna
Yeah, why
talk about She-Hulk soon. So
It
has been 1 week.
1 week.
I'm
It's
gonna go
been-
very quickly because I literally have done nothing. I've played some Apex with James. It's been a lot of fun actually. And then we had a hacker on the other team in an arenas, and it made me mad. So I was like, I don't want to get angry right now. So I
You
stopped.
won't like him when he's angry.
Well, I've been playing a lot of Salt and Sacrifice and a lot of Salt and Sanctuary, and I hate them more than any other Souls-like game I've ever played. Because when you die in that one, there's a lot of times where you're like, that's just bullshit. Elden Ring had a lot of times where I'm like, ugh, this is fucking garbage. Like when I died, where it's just ugh. But it's bad in this. Like every level has verticality to it, and you just get like a breeze hits you from an enemy's sword, and you go flying
You just
literally
tumble.
5,000 feet to your death every time.
Yeah.
And then they don't put your souls where you were up top. They put them on the ground. And a lot of times you're going top to bottom. So you got to get back. And the same enemy that fucked you up is sitting right there, And then they put enemies on the edge of ledges they have to jump onto. And you would think you'd have like a little bit of iframes. Nah. They just knock you off. They have no means. Like, because I'm playing a melee guy. I have like axes, but it doesn't knock them back. Like I have throwing axes. I will say, like overall, they're both good to great. I'd say Salt and Sanctuary is great. Salt and Sacrifice is good, but the sequel is just frustrating as shit. Like they literally were like, what if we went from Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2 and learned 0 lessons from actual Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2? So
Like Dark Souls 2 did?
yes, that's what I mean. Like Dark
Oh,
Souls
wait.
2 had some good stuff to it. Like they tried stuff, right? It was early on in the series, it's like
Yeah.
their first sequel to a Souls game. So it was like, all right, whatever, you're going to try some stuff. This is like weird. They make you go back to a hub world to level, but there's no teleporting in between bonfires. So you literally have to commit to going all the way back to camp and then
Oh,
starting
shit.
the level over again, basically. You get
Jesus.
shortcuts that you open up, but it's real confusing. There's a lot of shit that goes nowhere. Like, there's like zip lines to just a chest that you already opened and shit. And so it's like you really have to know what you're doing. There's no mini map. There's no map. You just have to like go in and explore and whatever. And so if you take a day off, you're fucked. Like if you're not
Yeah.
playing all the time, and all of the bosses except for like there's usually a mini boss or like there's some bosses in the world that you walk in and you get a boss loading screen or whatever, like it says their name and you see
Yeah.
like a little animation. And the worst part is, real quick, on both games, you have to watch that animation every time. Every time.
Oh, the little like
Yeah, it goes like
intro.
"Bah, bah, 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 bah," or whatever, and it's like 10 seconds of just slow mo. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I fought this guy 40 times. I just want to fight him again. And then in Salt and Sanctuary, every time you die, you have to watch a little animation of a guy dragging you back to the last bonfire. Why? And it takes money. It takes some of your money.
To add a little salt to your sacrifice.
It's
Yeah, probably.
It's that one. That's like my most annoying thing in Salt and Sanctuary, honestly. Like that, and like a little bit of like stun locking, but you can poise out of that. Like I built heavy armor, and I have like a little bit more poise, so I don't get as stun locked.
Now, does that game have any iframes in it?
Yes.
the
Yeah, when
other
you
one-
roll.
Yes, Rogue Legacy 2, which I started playing again, has 0 iframes, and I want to rip my own fingers off. Because if you're like, and it's not really Rogue Legacy's fault because I'm playing that as well as playing these 2D platformer Souls-likes. So I'm trying to play it more like a Souls-like, so I'm trying to dodge through enemies, and you can't. You're supposed to dodge away, And a lot of times I go to dodge through enemies and I just bounce off them and I'm like, oh. And then I'm sad. But now I have a dodge that I can go through some things. But,
really?
Yeah, Rogue Legacy 2 has been a lot of fun. Like, it is great. If you like...
It looks good,
yeah.
but the whole, like, what is it, roguelike thing kind of...
So it's a roguelite, which is
okay.
like the baby version of a roguelike. So it has that you die and you start over, but you get things like very early on, you get a guy that you can just sacrifice some money to. Like you take... So basically, what I did for the last boss I fought, which was like a big boss, it took me 4 or 5 tries. I locked the world and I got 75% less gold. But I was literally just teleporting to the you get like little teleport spots that you have to unlock every time if you let it re-roll. You can lock it. So I just teleported to her door and fought her over and over again. And then I unlocked it after when I died the next time, I just unlocked the world because I was like, well, now I don't have to go to that area again. I can teleport because you get the first one permanently in every zone. Well, you can pay for it. So there's conveniences to where you actually kind of want to start over a lot of times because you're down on health and stuff. And you have to like buy heals or find them randomly. So if you have a weapon you don't really like, but you've explored a lot, you want to die, go spend your money to upgrade your tree and, try again. So it's definitely the best of them in that way for me because it's so convenient. And every time I die, I don't even get mad. And you would think I get mad at every game, right?
Yeah.
You would think I would. Like, sometimes I'll be like, fuck, like, God damn it, or whatever, like, when you die, but I'm not like, this fucking piece of shit-ass game. Like, I just go like, ooh, I hope I get a better champ this time, or a better, hero, and then if I don't, I'm like, I'll go get some money and, just try to buy something and then die again,
Right.
It's because it's just, I don't know, it plays really well. So I did get very mad with James on Discord. I was streaming it, but it's my controller. The fucking Elite controllers are all broken trash, right? Don't buy one. Let me just say, they feel great. Like, in my hand, I love it. It feels beautiful. It's like making love to a beautiful woman, right? Holding it. Playing it is like making love to a beautiful woman who's a doll that doesn't move. So it feels okay and looks okay.
Talk back at least.
Well, but so what the problem is jump. Jump is the A button, right? Or X on
Those aren't
PlayStation.
going to dry up on you after 40 minutes, you know what I mean?
Jesus. After 40 years, you mean, where you went no more at all,
no,
bro.
just 40 minutes.
I know, I'm kidding.
In total. That's it. That's all you get.
That's a long
Sorry,
time,
go ahead.
bro. I'm talking about like 4 or 5 minutes.
I don't know. The joke wasn't working. I meant
I
like
know.
overtime. So
No, I
40
know.
minutes and 2 minutes at a time. That would be, I don't know how many times.
Got it. But so my controller, so there's this mechanic in the game where if you jump, hit down and attack, you can hit these little lanterns and you'll bounce up and you can, use that to go up or down or, like get to places you couldn't get. Well, I needed this double jump, and to get to the double jump, you have to unlock it via this trial, and the trial required that I dash, jump, bounce off a lamp, dash, bounce off a lamp, and continue to do that up and down all over the place, right? And
It was so bad.
it's not that hard if your controller registers every jump. But I kept having to restart it, and I was getting so mad. I was going, God damn it.
I
But-
feel bad that you can still get like that. I feel bad, man.
No,
It
no, no.
He
sucks.
was streaming it in Discord, so I got to watch.
Yeah.
So it was quite entertaining.
It-
I stopped gaming because I was just sitting there watching that.
Well, he was watching, and I don't know that you could tell how bad the controller was just not doing it.
No,
Like-
it just looked like you were missing it or
Yes.
something.
It's you have to hit down and jump at the exact right time. Like you have to be right over the thing. So like I was, probably I don't know, probably a quarter of them were me once I was angry. Like a quarter of the
Yeah.
misses were me, but like 75% of them were me hitting the button and the thing, and it just was like nah, and then I would die,
Yeah,
and
no.
it just zips you back.
From my side, I was just like, "Damn, why don't you just get good, son? Like, come on."
Oh God! But that's the only stuff that I get mad at, and it's not the game. The game's actually really tight. The controls are really tight. Everything plays. It's really an enjoyable game to play. Other than the no iframes with dashing, but it's a Metroidvania. It's not a Souls game. It has maybe some Souls elements to it, but not even really because it's not methodical combat. Like it is as much as a Metroidvania would be, right? They're all kind of methodical in like you have to choose your time to attack and stuff like that, but I'm still
Yeah.
playing it like I can roll through attacks and do all that, and you can dodge through a weapon, kind of, but you can't dodge through someone's body. So like if a big boss has an axe and it's like coming down, you can dodge kind of through it and you get a little bit of iframes there, but if you hit his legs, you're going to get hurt, So it's a juggle, but it's really good. If you like those kind of games, and especially if you played Rogue Legacy 2 is like a must buy. It's fucking awesome. Salt and Sacrifice I'd say is a wait, because they Salt and Sanctuary when it came out was pretty shitty. Like it needed a lot of patching and balancing, but now I'm playing it again. It's fucking great. Like it is great.
It's also like $5 right now.
Yeah.
So
if-
I went and picked it up.
If you're interested in that type of game, I would go with Salt and Sanctuary, and then probably by the time you finish it and you've like done, you played it and you feel good about it, then maybe, if it's been a month or two, grab Salt and Sacrifice if it's on sale or something, and if not, I'd wait for a bit. Other than that, I got tickets to see Men, and then I didn't go see it because I fell asleep at my house.
Nice.
I was going to try and review it, but I got them for 11 a.m. on a Saturday, and then I got home and I was like, I want to take a nap, and then I fell asleep, and I slept for like
Nice.
an hour. And then I was going to go yesterday, but I recorded the other podcast, and that took a long time, and then I didn't want to do anything. So,
You trying to go see that Cronenberg movie?
yeah, I mean, it's Time Crimes or whatever, Crimes of the Future.
Yeah, time crime.
Time Crimes is a movie, and it's a French horror movie that's actually really good. It's a French time travel horror movie that's real crazy and real good. But Crimes of the Future, I mean, Viggo Mortensen's awesome. He hasn't been in anything in a minute. So, and Cronenberg is great with body horror. I mean, he basically invented body horror, like mainstream.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna watch it. His son did a movie recently that I need to watch, Possessor.
I've been trying to get a hold of that. I don't know if that's the
Watch
movie.
it on my
It's like-
Shudder. It's on Prime, or it's on my Prime.
Then is that the right movie I'm thinking of?
It's the
Man,
chick who goes. They have like these assassins that take over your body basically, and they use other people
No.
to kill people.
Then I think I'm thinking of something else.
You might
then.
be thinking of
It's it's an
Terrified.
actual possession movie. I think
Oh.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, there's a movie
Um,
called Terrified that's big, like a big deal. That's a foreign one, but it's supposed to be a real good horror movie. But Possessor is David Cronenberg's son, and it's supposedly great. I need to watch it. It's just, I can tell it's more of like psychological horror than direct horror, and a lot of times I can't pay that much. Like, I usually if I'm watching stuff, I just put it on while I'm working. So it's like I'm barely paying attention, and it seems like it's gonna need my attention, you know. Hence why I don't really watch anything. I just watch like a bunch of nonsense. I put on like Psych again, or like shit that I've seen, because I just need like something in the background. And I can't watch anime because I only watch subs, baby, and I don't know Japanese. Tate bayo. So, but yeah. Other than that, I played V Rising. I bought it yesterday. That's this new survival game where you're a vampire. It's like Valheim, but vampires and more isometric, or kind of a top-down game, but WASD. And one of the worst things in the world, I hate every video game that does this, it does not have inverted camera. It is 2022.
But aren't you on PC?
Yes.
There's no way to like mod thing.
I can modify the .ini file, but I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, you might fuck your shit up.
Yeah. So it's okay in this game because you really don't have to use the camera that much, since it's top down, but you have to hold right mouse button to turn the camera left and right. And I wish I could just stop it from going up and down, because my mouse doesn't move laterally only, you know what I mean? So if I'm moving it left or right, I'm also moving it up and down slightly, and I feel like I'm going to get too used to it, and it's going to invert my controls forever, and I like playing inverted, so.
Why?
Because it feels good.
Really?
It does, yeah.
I mean, I've never understood it on a controller. I definitely don't get it on a... I mean, because anything else you do on a computer, do you run it inverted?
Anything that I have to control my camera, I have to play inverted. Controller, mouse, it doesn't matter. I have to.
Damn.
But it's like if you tried to play inverted. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like for me to play regular. I just can't do it. Like, it doesn't compute. And it's because I started mouse and keyboard gaming with that. My friend was playing Counter-Strike, and that's just how he had his settings.
Really?
And the first thing I ever did was that, and I got really, and I don't know, it just feels natural to me, the way the movement. So I don't know.
To go, yeah, I have tried and just will never understand.
Hey, I try to play claw controls in Souls, and I can't get it.
That's rough.
I can't get it. It just, like, I played. What was it that I tried to do a whole playthrough of Dark Souls 1 like that, and I got pretty far, but I kept reverting back. Like, every time it would get heated, I would like freak out, and my hand would go back to normal.
Damn.
Yeah, I used to play inverted on certain things, but when I was younger, I used to play a lot more like airplane games. I'd play like Ace Combat and shit like that, and I would play inverted. But even some platformers, I think we didn't really have a choice in like the early PS1 and Nintendo 64 days. So I used to, but now I can't really. I think I almost have a memory of playing Ninja Gaiden, like the newer, like the relaunches, inverted, but nah, man, I can't do it anymore. It's wonky.
Nah, it's the best. And that's it for me. I just played V Rising. Oh, it's okay. It's pretty. I mean, the game is like, the gameplay loop is every one of those games. You're just trying to make a castle. You're a vampire, so there's a mechanic where you need blood to use magic and stuff. So you have to like beat up humans and then drain their blood and save it, or like animals.
Bet you're into that sucking all them humans, aren't you?
Yeah, bro. And that's kind of cool. There's some vampire powers that are pretty cool. Best part of it is I had a dream I was a vampire last night and I could fly, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
fly into the arms of Edward Cullen.
yeah. It's only $20 right now in early access, so if you're bored and you want something like that, it's a decent co-op game. Only thing that sucks is there's no way to see your friends on the map, so you have to like pay attention to where they are at all times to like find them.
That's like Daisy and shit.
Yeah.
I always hated that.
Real annoying. Like little things that you're like, no, see, this isn't hardcore. This is just annoying.
I mean, I kind of get it in a survival game though, because I mean they're wanting to, have that realistic element to like I can't ping. Well, actually, no, I have an iPhone. I could literally find a friend if I wanted to.
Yeah, you could literally
kind of
ping
stupid.
people.
Never mind. I take back my statement.
Like you could find my iPhone. You can like give each other tracking abilities, but yeah, I don't know. But it's cool. Like there's these boss fights, and they're just like hunts. You have to hunt people that have V blood, and when you kill them, you get. I know it's dumb, but you
Do you
get
buy
like
blood with V-Bucks as
Yeah.
well?
you get new recipes and things from them. Like you get the ability. So like one's a blacksmith, so you get the ability to make the grinder thing to like make metal, or not the forge, but like this thing to make stone bricks and stuff. Like they give you different things, and they each give you like a spell, like a vampire power or whatever. So it's I don't know. I don't know that I'll play it for a long time, but it was okay. It was pretty fun for a little bit. And that's
Yeah.
it. That's all I got.
Word. Can I go last, James?
Yeah, definitely. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, as a transition, I will say something me and Aaron both did this week was started a D&D campaign with
Oh,
a
shit.
listener. We were invited to do that.
Yeah.
And we finally got to start last Thursday.
Fuck yeah.
We did.
And it's been great. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I speaking for myself, obviously, but I've started a campaign that COVID ended really early. So for me, I've been like hyped to do it. This time my wife's involved and Aaron's wife's involved, and having both the ladies around's not.
And they fucking
And
suck,
Darren,
these losers.
know.
They're pretend nerds. They don't even like nerdy stuff. I was like, tell me 3 D&D enemies now. Go. Oh, you like D&D? Tell me every boss. Tell me every mob's health stats.
Yeah, the little. I really should have streamed the first one just because of the emo guitar battle you did.
I'm a little halfling bard who's emo.
It's so great.
He has I'm trying to play him as tortured emo guy, but his secret background is that he's comes from rich parents and never had anything bad. That's why he slips a lot. That's why he's just like slips in and out of character.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
My guy's a very aggressive mountain dwarf who, if he sees anything that looks like an enemy, he likes to sound his horn and take off running to fight him.
Yeah, he'll be like, and then around the corner you see a slime, and then he's like, I blow my horn and run screaming. You just hear
I did give you guys the option to persuade me not to, and I
Yeah.
will probably do that sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that it wouldn't work most times because you're just like, fight and then run, right? That's like that's your MO.
It's working out good though
Yeah.
because Tortle is joining me. So
Turtle is my wife's character, who's a giant turtle who just collects dust. That's her character in every campaign so far is just a turtle that likes to collect dirt and bones and things and stuff them in his shell.
but yeah, it's been great so far, and I'm excited to continue that.
Yeah.
And I will probably try to stream it, if not just record it, just because I know it's not going to be, I don't know, listening to us would be entertaining, but it's not going to have all the like cameras on. You're basically going to see like the game board that we're using, the dungeon itself, and then like my character card swapping back and forth and then hearing us playing. So I don't know how entertaining that'll be.
Yeah.
If any of you nerds listen to this and want or potentially think that's something you would enjoy, then let us know. But I'm kind of back and forth on actually streaming or recording that to put on the YouTube, just because, again, it's definitely no Critical Role by any means.
Yeah.
We're not going to be as talented and good looking as Matt Mercer and his hair.
Yeah, we don't do all the voices. I mean, I kind of try, but it's mostly just me singing.
Right. That's a good part, though. I do enjoy that.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
God, it's so good, though. It works. It works really well.
one day when he really needs to do some heavy magic, he's gonna go, I'm not the one who's so
Oh,
far
God.
away. That's when he gets possessed and his eyes roll back.
Oh, that's funny.
But then you guys
Damn.
can't help it, and it's like Beetlejuice, when they do the Daylight Come and We Want to Go Home song, but you're going, Demons breathe.
I was gonna say I sound my horn and run directly into comment. No. Oh shit. Speaking of a D&D style thing, I finished season 1 of Shield Hero, or the Rising of Shield Hero, I believe.
Yeah.
Ed actually started season 2 today. I really dig the show. I think I'm shocked. I'm into something where the Shield hero himself is pretty well like nerfed because he can't attack ish.
Yeah.
He finds ways, and then with his Charlie's Angels slave girls he has, he does work, I guess.
I don't love the harem side of it, but they don't do too much of it. Like, I feel like people, like, in this, it makes a little more sense because he's not an unattractive guy, right? Like, it's not like they make him like this little, like Naruto, where he's kind of annoying or whatever. He's like kind of cool, and he looks like a normal dude.
They're not over the top with it. Like,
But-
the girls aren't like overly swooning like in his face with their tits out and stuff.
And what I was gonna say is you kind of get where this comes from a lot of times because he is kind. Like, he does things to save
Right.
people. Like, he goes out of his way to do heroic shit. So you're like, okay, I get that.
Yeah,
like,
he basically like rescued all the girls more or less
Yes.
too. So
and like green-haired girl whose name I can't remember. She gets kicked out of the party of
Yeah.
one of the other heroes and is like devastated. And he's like, "Come on, I'll teach you. I'll have an old lady
Yep.
teach you karate. Let's go." And like,
she just became his slave in this episode.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
finished.
yeah, and I love that everyone's like, "You have slaves." They're all disgusted by him, and all of them made him do it, except
Yeah,
for
I know.
except for Raftalia, who he was going to like be like, okay, you don't have to be a slave no more. I just needed you to have to listen to me because I literally can't attack shit. I needed someone
I think
who could.
she
stand.
got freed and then had
Yeah.
him put it back on again.
Yeah, I love Raftalia though, and I love that like their dynamic because she's just like his ride or die because she was a fucking slave, and then he took her, and at first he was like kind of forcing her to do shit she didn't want to do, but then like he protected her and he fed her, and like he was never really unkind, and then like just the build of their relationship across the first season is really great. She's definitely like wants to smash, but it's a little weird because she's like a furry. She's like got little raccoon ears.
Anthropomorphic.
Well, she's like a human, but has raccoon ears and a raccoon tail, like sticking out.
Oh, that's fine. There's one of those in what's the game called? Blaze Blue? Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, she has her raccoon ears on top of her head, and so I was asking this on one of the other episodes: does she have human ears under her hair, or
was
is it
gonna
just
ask that.
smooth skin?
Because that would be kind of weird.
Yeah,
I've never paid attention to it.
they don't show it. Her hair's always down. She got some big ass titties though. Every anime character has giant, like gravity defying titties that bounce everywhere.
Hers don't look giant until like
Yeah,
they're
till she's
out,
in the
though.
fucking hot spring, and then you're like, wait a minute.
right. Yeah, they don't. They only do it when they like are doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't dump them out unless
It's-
she's got
It's
getting
definitely
her slave mark or something.
Yeah, it's definitely not as tropey as some of the other like it has the little harem stuff, but and he's just like you can tell he like doesn't care. He doesn't do the thing that's like, "Oh, what?" Everyone's like, things people are getting like, "Oh my god, I love you." And he's like, "What?" Like he's just ignoring it cuz
Yeah, he's kind of falling in love with her like naturally on his
Yeah.
own, just from like them being around each other and just them working together.
Yeah,
and becoming
and-
like a solid unit.
she fucking rescued his ass. You know what I mean? Like he was going like
Yeah.
she's rescued him multiple times from falling
Oh, yeah.
to like rage. And that's what I really love about it is like it shows it's it's the Harry Potter book 5 of anime where like the whole time you're like, fuck I hate every single person in the world because this poor guy just gets sucked and they summon him in from his world. He's just reading a book and gets summoned in, and then they're like, fuck you, asshole, you're a rapist piece of shit. And he's like, what the fuck, man? I'm just like, he literally shows up and they're like, oh yeah, everybody hates you, by the way. So yeah, just go figure it out. And then the other guys, I like that they just get shit on constantly. They're like, there's a sword hero, a bow hero, and a lance hero or spear hero, and they're all like, everyone loves them. They expect them to be awesome, and they just suck because they're too used to being strong. Like
They're just and they're just too cocky, and they don't actually
Yes.
make the effort like he does. Like he knows he has to work harder because he's only a defense hero. Like
Yeah.
he has no choice but to work harder.
yeah. And my favorite part was when he fights the spear guy. Remember when it went to get rid of Raftalia's brand, and he fucking opens his cape and he has all those fucking orange balls, and he
Little
just
balloons.
he has these like little slime monsters that are little balloons, and he just has them biting him forever because he basically has a lot of defense because he's a shield hero, so they can't hurt him.
Yeah.
And he just throws them at this dude. He keeps having him bite his balls and shit. And I love that's where shit got real though, because like the one princess like cheats, and then like
and
everyone
and you
knows
see his
it.
rage finally come in like a little bit.
Well, because everyone sees it. It's like in an arena, the king sees it. Everyone
Right.
knows he got shafted and won. And then they're like, nah, fuck you. We're going to take the only person who's been nice to you in this entire world. And, you know, you don't get to have a sidekick anymore. You can't do anything. You just have to go fight waves that you can't even fight, you know?
I'm super the one thing that like totally like got me hyped was when they decided to name like the girl bitch and
And
the
whore.
king what was the king's name?
It's like bitch and shit or something like that. No, trash. No,
Trash.
Her name is
Is it?
It's trash and
Hers
bitch.
is bitch or whore.
Yeah.
Whore when she's on the road.
Yeah. And he's trash.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's the
Her name
king.
is Whore.
No, so
when her traveling name is whore, and then her everybody else has to call her bitch. When
that's because this is one of the princesses who goes out and travels and does adventures. And so when she's out adventuring, she's not the princess. So her name is Mine. I think Mine is her travel name, and Malty is her real name. So he's saying, oh, well, if she has to have two names, well, then one is bitch and the other is whore. And
Yeah.
literally
and they
every time someone says her name in public,
casual conversations like he's like they're just like, all right, bitch, let's get going. It's just so good.
and she's
And this
the
is Shield
worst.
Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the fucking worst. That's why he does this. And
Yeah.
the thing is, he saves her life. Like the queen was going to execute her own husband and daughter because they were so shitty and did so many bad things. And he stops it. And she was about to kill herself afterwards too. And I think he could like tell. It's a really like that's what I'm saying. He's a good dude, even though everyone's shitty.
She
to
did the
him.
like lying Me Too thing where she like accused him of like rape and shit like first episode.
Yeah,
She's terrible.
She had him spend all the money that the king gave him on gear and stuff and buy her gear because she was going to be his sword, basically, because he can't attack. And so then that night, like, he pays for her dinner, and then he won't drink with her. And so she has to lie and say he got her drunk. And then in the morning, like, all his stuff is gone. She's robbed him. And then this is his first day in this new fantasy world. And then everyone calls him a rapist, and basically he's not allowed to have party members, or, you know, he can't have party members, and he can't do anything. He can't attack. So they're like, fuck you, basically. So that's when he goes and gets a slave. Because in this world they have slaves, and there's like animal slaves, and then there's these demi-humans that they use as slaves. And he picks this little sick raccoon girl who's like a child. But he could see that she's gonna die, basically. So he picks her, and then he makes her medicine because he can like learn to craft and shit with his shield. It's cool, but I always wonder, like, can't he just shield bash? Like, shield bash has damage. At
He
some
did
point.
just. I mean, he uses the like floating green shield thing as a bash
Yeah.
attack sometimes.
Yeah.
And then he did this last episode do like a tornado shield thing or wind shield,
Yeah.
and like blew all the enemies like away into the mountains and shit, which was pretty cool. So
And what we were saying, Jesse, is like the other heroes just are like oh, we're used to just being badass, and like they're too cocky. And every time he's like, you guys are fucking dumb. And then they all get knocked out by other people and he has to fight them. And every single time the other person's like, you're literally the only person here worth a shit. Like the fight.
He does. He has that shield attack where he like puts him in that like torture like thing, and then he also has his like blood sacrifice that.
But
does
those
the dragon.
those are evil.
So?
No, I know. The one is like a mutation of Shield Prison where it's an Iron Maiden,
Yeah,
and that
that
shit
one's
is
awesome.
dope.
Yeah,
It's
so
fucking
cool.
dope. It brings out this giant Iron Maiden with this like cool ass like female like demon head on it. It's dope. He
Yeah, it's-
Sounds fun.
and Jesse, you'd probably like him too because he leans fully into Edgelord because everyone already hates him. So he goes and gets like bandit armor. Like he makes sure that people think he's a piece of shit because he's like, fuck all you guys. You already think it. So I'm going to lean into it. That's why he's like,
It's one thing now that he's good that I'm glad stuck is he's still his like kind of like, oh, you're gonna pay me for what I'm doing
Yep.
thing.
yeah. Because that's the other thing. He helps everybody, but because his reputation is such, he makes them pay him. He's like, no, I'm an asshole. I don't actually care. Like that's what he portrays, but they all know he does. But he
Yeah.
also needs the money because the king won't pay him. Like
Yeah,
the other heroes get money, and now they just split his part, so he has to charge people. But he has to clean up all the other messes because the other heroes will do things like one kills a dragon but just leaves its corpse, and then the corpse rots and creates like a poison in the water that's poisoning this other town. So then he has to go and like clean it up, and as he's cleaning it up, the fucking dragon reanimates and he becomes an undead dragon that he has to kill. And like the other one,
Yeah.
like the bow hero goes and like stops, he uproots this mob boss who's like the mayor who's like lying or whatever, but then he kicks him out and leaves, and then the power struggle in that town starts to create a war basically and like crazy shit. So then now Fumi has to go there and help. It's a lot of that. Like every one of the heroes has done shit that's like careless because they think of it as a video game because it is. And to them, everybody but now Fumi, who got summoned, has played this world as a game. So they know the world, and he doesn't. And they don't tell him the shit even though they know. Like they didn't
Yeah.
tell him that he could.
Spoilers.
Yeah, they say it early on. Like they go, oh, this is like exactly like you
yeah,
know,
that's like right away because they see a video game interface, which is still weird to me.
yeah, like there's a party menu and shit, and like you can look at stats and shit. It's
but
cool.
only to the heroes.
Yeah. Very weird. But have you noticed the other characters in world know about that? Like they know it exists.
Yeah,
It's
no.
weird. Because then I'm like, well, I
It
would
is
just be
weird.
like, I'm in a video game.
Well, have either of you finished it? Like, have you finished it, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm up to date. It's not done though.
Oh, okay.
It's in season
Yeah,
2.
it's newer still. Yeah.
But season 2 started off kind of weird just because of like where season 1, like where the story is, it kind of swerves to a different thing, but it's starting to make more sense and shit's getting crazy.
I've liked it so far. I've only watched I think 2 or 3 episodes, but
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. It felt like a weird restarting of a story. Like it's like, oh, the waves have stopped for now, so now we'll go do something else.
yeah, it's that turtle man.
Yeah, the spirit tortoise. But-
Spirit turtle.
I realized, so like you guys know I play video games and talk on Discord with some of the Comic Slobs, old podcasts I love, and all my friends in Chicago up there. Well, me and this guy Josh used to always say Melty-chan. And I kept being like, why do I keep saying Melty-chan? Well, one of the characters in Shield Hero's name is Melty, and when you listen to it in subs, they'd say Melty-chan. And so
That's funny.
he was the only other person that had watched it. And I remember now that we had this conversation, but we were doing it for like a year. And then so like at 11 months, I was like, why the fuck are we saying Melty-chan? Like who was the first one to say it? And now I get it. So,
It's fun.
but yeah,
Funny.
Shield Hero's great. I'm glad you like it because you didn't love, Goblin Slayer, and I was kind of bummed.
I'm gonna try to start it again. Or not like I'm gonna continue after I get done with this, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's fine. It's okay now. But I was like, maybe we just like different stuff. You know what I mean? Like maybe I am gonna love things, and you're always gonna be kind of on the fence, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Damn, Jesse, I just noticed
You have a lot more like
You-
anime under your belt and stuff that you I don't know. Like I've kind of stuck to a niche. And I'll be honest, like a lot of stuff I watch, I literally look at the title card they got for like in the streaming service thing, and if it just doesn't even catch me there, I usually move on and try something that does catch me. Like I will watch a lot of stuff I've wrote down, but I literally choose what's next based on just looking at that picture half the time.
Yeah.
So, and if I don't see swords, your boy barely ever wants to watch.
Jesse, by the way, I just saw, if you guys aren't in our Discord, you're missing out on some bomb-ass food pictures of tarts Jesse's making. And actually,
so horny.
my wife's birthday was the 12th. So what is that? Last week or the week before? Week before last. And what she wanted instead of a cake was a fruit tart. She loves those. That's like the big one that you had with like the kiwis and strawberries and blueberries. That's like that's her shit.
It's Memorial Day coming up, so that's like you have to make a lot of those.
Season of tarts.
When you
man.
when you were making them, thinking about Memorial Day, we were like, proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm
No, it's a
free.
bitch, dude. But making those things is annoying because it's just hand cutting fruit. It's a bitch, but it's a job.
Dude,
Yeah.
one time I
Right.
cock blocked my friend on a date because of that song. It was very funny, and he was so pissed off at me because I was just digging my heels in on this conversation, and this girl he was with was so angry. Like, she was getting so mad at me about it because, I'm like not very patriotic, and the song came on, and I made a comment about it, and she was like, how dare you? It's like,
Hey, man, you live here, man.
I stand for the flag, and I kneel for Jesus. I kneel for Jesus when
on
he
that
steps off
note-
that cross.
Jeez.
Jesus, come here and let me suck that dick.
Yeah, so back to my
Anyways.
week that I lost control of like 20 minutes ago. I watched the movie Old with my wife. I take whatever like not even horror, but I guess horror, suspensey, whatever movie
Thriller.
opportunities I can get. It's what it is trash. But we watched Old because she said she'd actually watch it because I was like going through like horror movies that I like to add for when I'm just like solo movie time. And so we watched Old together, and man, M. Night Shyamalan is just getting worse. Like that movie is so bad.
It's about
She
the
enjoyed
beach,
it.
right?
Yeah, it's about
Okay.
a beach where when they go there, they start aging super fast, and whatever ailments they have come on very fast, and like fast aging. Like I think they say it's like 3 years and a half an hour or something weird like that.
The
And every
rules don't
time they
make
try to
much
leave,
sense.
they start getting headaches and pass out, and then back up on the beach, and it's literally sort of not spoilers, but it's literally the rocks in that area is like a freak coincidence, and they just happen to cause this paradox to where this beach is the only place in the
I
world
think that's full spoilers.
Yeah, but it's dumb,
Who
so who
cares? I think
cares?
anybody who
you
would
get it.
would say
You get it. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's the like you can tell it's the rocks. Like after he did like The Happening and shit like that, like he doesn't even like try to hide the big twist anymore. Like everything that's kind of going on the whole time, and he just like spells it out right in your face and like puts it on a note, or like it's like okay, like come on, man, like you used to make us work for it, maybe like slightly, maybe, I don't know. But like my wife thought The Village was great. I thought it was trash because of the
Yeah, I was about to say that guy's got like
He's got one
and
good movie.
3/4 good movies.
Yeah, I would say you're right. We might disagree on the 3/4. I would say two and 3/4. I would say.
I'd say he's got a good movie in Sixth Sense, half of a good movie in, not even a third of a good movie in The Village, and a third of a good movie in the apartment building one. And I don't know why. I think just because I like visually the movie. Lady in the Water.
that one
I never saw that one.
That one
I
I,
like that one.
enjoyed a bit of. because it was very fairy tale esque, which I liked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it. I would say,
Is that where they like bang the fish chick or
Yeah.
whatever?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I liked Sixth Sense, right? I liked 2/3 of no, I would say 3/4 of Signs, and then
Oh yeah, Signs. Yeah,
And
Signs
then
is
I
another half.
personally love Signs. I get the water thing super. It's M. Night Shyamalan. I don't have high expectations with his
Yeah.
big twist, you know.
I'm
But
okay with
I
that.
thought that movie was really good.
bro,
I
it could be like the problem with it for me is just it could be anything else. Like
I know. I know.
War of the Worlds, it made sense, right? You're like, oh yeah, the common cold kills them because they're not from
Mhm.
fucking Earth. Part of the
Right.
issue of going somewhere else is like you don't know what they've got there, you know. So that's cool. This is like, dog, you can see the water from space.
I mean, you would think
It's all you
also
see.
the
No.
moisture in the air would have been an issue too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I
that's
always
why
say this.
they died
In-
as soon as they came
In
out of the ship.
Florida, they would literally melt.
But
we
they
would
did
let-
in the movie. In the movie, they came out the ship and immediately started
No,
melting.
that one's trapped in the pantry for like 4
Oh,
days.
I'm thinking War of the Worlds. My
Yeah.
bad.
What I'm saying is, if water is their weakness, humidity would destroy them. And there's very
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
places where there's 0% humidity. Like they would
Yeah.
just be like,
True.
"What's
Very
up,
true.
Earth?" Oh fuck! And they'd just die. And you'd be like, "Yeah, you idiot, go away. We're all water. I'll hug you, bitch. I'm sweaty. Let's go. I'll piss on
Yeah,
you, dude. I will
right?
literally piss and spit on you, and you will die." You have your little laser weapon. Oh, that's cute. Here's some piss, you little bitch.
Hey, you're ruining this shit now.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even think about it. He grabbed the kid. Like, shouldn't that have been burning his skin when he grabbed the kid?
Yeah.
To like spray it in the face and shit.
Those children could cry at it, and it would be like, ah, and have to run. Because I'm saying,
I like all of it up to the ending. Pretty
yes,
much.
that's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
I'm with you. Where it's like 2/3 of that movie or 3/4 of that movie, fucking awesome. I was like,
yeah.
my dog did it again because I didn't really love Unbreakable. I hated the ending of that too. Like I thought it was kind of dumb, but like I liked the movie, right? I liked kind of the idea going up to it, but then it kind of fizzled. Like his twists are always trash, and you can tell he writes the movie
Right.
around the twist. It works really well in The Sixth Sense. It works really, really well, and on rewatches it's great.
Yeah.
But then everything else, he like decided he was the twist guy, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, you know, in Sixth Sense, that twist was amazing, but you could just write a good story, and you don't have to have a twist.
No, he wrote himself into a thing, man. He is Twist Man.
Yeah, he did the.
I don't know to this day that I've watched The Sixth Sense all the way through once because I got the spoiler before I saw it.
Oh, what a bummer.
But
Yeah,
it's
and I don't
still-
know that I've ever
it's still
actually
good.
watched the whole movie.
It's still good, but I will contend that Stir of Echoes is as
Oh,
good
so
or better.
good.
I
Stir of Echoes is
love
fucking
that
great.
movie, and they
Oh,
came
so
out
good.
the same year. And I remember seeing Stir of Echoes and being like, "Holy fuck!" Like that was a great movie. And then I
Yeah,
read
it is.
Robert McCammon because that's who wrote that book, and I just started reading all his books. And he's a great horror writer, so it got me into another good horror writer back in the day. So, but yes, Shyamalan is trash, and he's literally can't make a good movie. The only one I give him that surprised me was The Visit. That's one that I really
I
enjoyed.
never saw that.
And the twist was like kind of dumb, but it wasn't story breaking. It's kids go
Yeah.
visit their grandparents. They're fucking weird, and their mom doesn't go with them because she's working and busy, and like their dad just died or something. So she needs them to go away so she can work and deal with stuff. Right? She needs a break, so she sends them to the grandparents. And when they get there, the grandma's weird and it's all shit, and you realize that's not their grandparents. Like they had killed their grandparents, and the lady's crazy, and like they knew them. So there's like a thing there where the twist is a twist, but it's not like
Mm.
the grandma's possessed by the ghost of a cobra from 2 years ago or whatever. You know, something dumb where you're like, why? Or
Yeah.
the grandma breathed in air from an angry plant, and it made her crazy. But yeah,
I will say that there was one pretty cool thing in old and even then it's still kind of stupid. Like there's a superficial chick that's like super into her looks or whatever, and she has whatever it is that like you need to like take calcium because your bones are like brittle and shit.
Osteoporosis.
Yeah, that's right. So she has that, and obviously she doesn't have her medicine there or whatever, and they age fast. Well, with aging fast, they also heal really quick. So there's like a scene of them in the cave, and she's all like hunched over from not having her calcium and aging and stuff, and like she there's like characters like that light a match to try to see what's in there, and it's her, and she's just like screaming like, don't look at me, and like getting all pissy because they like have a light, and she starts chasing them, and like every time she bumps into the cave wall or anything, she breaks her arms, her bones. And then they heal like instantly in like the wrong direction and shit, and like she just turns into like this really like broken up body of like pretzeled human, and it's kind of cool.
That's cool. That reminds me of the that villain in the New 52 Batman. When did you ever read New 52, James?
Not all of it. I read the first
The-
three books or
the
first
one-
three arcs.
Oh, so you never saw the bone thing, the thing with the bones?
No, I did both the first two Owl books and then the Joker run.
Okay.
Death
There's a
of
villain
the family, I think.
Death, I believe so. I think it's Death of the Family. Yeah, there's a villain eventually that like if it like breaks a bone,
Mm-hmm.
like the bone kind of like grows like these weird calcium spikes. So the more you like, I don't know, I guess spoilers for it. By the end of it, Batman just beats the shit out of it until it becomes a giant mass of spikes. But
That's cool.
Oh, so he murders it, which Batman definitely does.
Hey,
It's
I'm
comics.
not one of those people that's like, I'm realistic. Like Batman honestly should be killing some of these people.
And it was like a
And he
monster.
did early comics. Like, come on.
Mhm. Yeah, it's true.
The 60s don't
like-
count.
I'm talking 40s, dude.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, he was like hanging people with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a panel with him lynching a guy from the bat plane.
Yeah, it's like one of the first
just
like
flying
the first
away and the
four
guy's-
comics, he kills someone.
And the guy's just hanging from the back of it. It's like,
Yeah.
nice.
Awesome. All right, not awesome.
Any hoodles.
So yeah, I mean, real people stuff. I did watch the second to last episode of This Is Us since the end of the series. I mean, I don't really care all that much to anybody out there who watches that stuff with their wife. Like, it's great, like unbelievably good writing in that show. I know this isn't video game or nerd shit really, but
I don't know,
I'm
man.
just stunned by the writing in the show. I don't know what it is, but I just get super annoyed when Mandy Moore's in anything because I feel like she like has to be singing and always like center of attention kind of weirdly. I don't know. I'm just weird about it. So the whole episode was kind of about her, and I was like,
She's
kind of
super.
checked out.
She's super pretty though.
Yeah, but she always has to be like, she has to sing because she used to be like a singer, and you know, like
missing you like candy. Yeah.
Yo, speaking of Mandy Moore, super weird and super like
So
for real,
weird
for
that I
real.
would definitely eat her ass though.
Oh, of course, bro. Let's go. No, but super fucking weird. I used to work at Best Buy, let's say back in 2006 or some shit, or not even five
damn,
or
you old,
six.
bro.
I worked there in 2001, baby. I was working when 9/11 happened.
Nice.
Listening to I'm
I was
missing
still in
you
school.
like candy.
I was in school. I was a senior or a junior, senior.
You would have
I
been
don't
a
know.
junior because I was just in
Um,
my graduating year.
Yeah. But I worked at
What?
Best
I
Buy.
was a freshman.
Yeah, I'm 39
the
years old.
2000 I'm 2003.
I'm
I graduated
2001.
20
So,
You're
yes.
2001 and 2003. What are you, James? 04?
I was supposed to be 5, but skipped a grade.
Nice.
Fucking nerd alert, dude. Let's beat him up.
But I was working at Best Buy, and no fucking lie, dude. There's this man there in the movie, the DVD aisle. Picture, I'm gonna say 45, American guy, baseball hat, like blue collar guy. Like just blue collar American guy, probably drives a truck to work. And he's in the DVD section and it's in like the YA DVDs, the kids DVDs,
Mhm.
and he asks me if we have any Mandy Moore movies, and I find them, and he starts talking to me super earnestly and genuinely about how I just love her as an actress. Her movies are so good. They're really great. The writing, and this guy is like a grown man with like a thing for Mandy Moore movies. Obviously, the pun of he's probably a creep, but he was just saying how like she's really wholesome and these movies are really great. He didn't say anything about they're for my kids. He was just like, I really like watching these movies and they're really great. These are really good. And I that just unlocked in my head when you said the Mandy Moore thing, because I remember this fucking guy who was just like really into Mandy Moore movies. And I don't know what they're like, but I imagine they're like Olsen twin movies, kind of. They're like, Hannah Montana shit. And yeah, that's it. I just remember the guy who likes Mandy Moore movies.
Do you ever think like
memory lane?
what's his life like? Is he dead?
I don't know, man.
Is he in jail for molestation of a child?
Is he
Well, we
missing
never know that he's
Jesse
gonna pull
like Candy?
trigger.
Bro,
don't know.
you're the one that met him. You know.
I don't know, man. I mean, you never know. Like, he could really just be into the movies.
He could just be saying Mandy Moore from the ages of 16 to 21 just smells creamy.
Creamy and buttery.
Creamy and buttery. He's running for government.
Of course,
Shit.
definitely not like those ranky, stinky girls of 28.
Yeah, bro. Maybe you just don't like the smell of vagine, you know what I'm saying?
Oh God. Anyways,
Ugh.
Yeah, so lastly, I have been playing more Apex, obviously, and finally started a new game, and it is the much anticipated first playthrough of God of War.
fuck yeah, dude.
The crowd goes wild, all the fans cheer. I have officially started it, and as could be assumed, I am loving it so far.
Yeah.
It's very Viking, very very good mechanics for the fighting. A little sluggish, but honestly, like I said in the stream, I expect it with the over the shoulder. It's the same with Gears of War. Like, it's the over the shoulder always seems to have this like slower movement feel to it.
Yeah. The fact that
Um,
you always like when you're turning your camera, you're always turning him. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like in like Elden Ring, you could run around in a circle and keep your camera on the same spot.
Yeah.
With him, you're always behind him. So I know what you mean. Also remember it is a 4-year-old game, but it still holds up pretty well.
Yeah, well, I've just noticed that it's that over the shoulder thing. Like, it always has this lunky feel to it, and it's fine. It doesn't take away from the game at all. I was a little concerned when I first started playing it. Again, in the stream, you'll see me moving the sticks around when I like kind of get a little bit more of the movement available, and I was a little concerned that the lunkiness would make combat difficult, but everything kind of paces well with it, so it hasn't been an issue yet. I will say, as a, I guess I can say this now, like a Dark Souls player, the double tap for dodge rolling is like super annoying. I hate it. Like, I really hate that that's a thing. Like, let me turn it off if I want to. Like, I want to just hit one dodge to roll. Like, I don't like the double tap. I also don't like that the location of that button is like the normal jump button for every other game in existence, and for some reason the dodge button is, the normal jump button.
Oof.
Which is weird. And then like your action button is the B or circle.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't love that either. It's just kind of off to me. I looked for control swapping on it, didn't see anything yet, but I'll look again. That's minor. I'm sure I'll get used to it. It's just, I mean, I couldn't tell you a game out there that is has those two buttons opposite of what this game does. So it's an interesting choice, but visually stunning. The introduction to the game is incredible. Like the first boss fight with the scrawny little crazed Viking man is so great. I was like whipping his ass right away, and then I mean you end up fighting him. I think you get what 3, maybe 4 health bars on that dude. It's nuts, and it's
Yeah,
great.
it's a pretty long fight.
The blending of the cinematics with the fight is done really great. I'm still not a fan of like the push this button now and type of thing. I've never been a fan of it. Like just do the cinematic or just let me do the fight. Like one of the two. Don't try to make me pay attention to push this button at this time. I don't like it. But other than that, like it's been great. I'm addicted to saying boy, like boy. I can't help it. We've discussed it in chat. That I've probably said it more than the character has.
FYI, he does say his name sometimes. He yelled it.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I
yelled,
know.
Atreus.
And I still say boy instead.
No. It's just
and
because I commented at one point because I thought you were genuinely asking the question. Does he have a name? And so I said it's Atreus, and I thought it was like a reveal later, but he was just saying it randomly sometimes.
No, I knew he said it. I just didn't know what it was because I didn't. I just keep calling him boy.
But it's because he doesn't just say boy. He goes boy.
He's like boy,
Boy,
boy, you're a useless piece of shit.
boy, did you shoot at that fucking deer, you
I-
idiot?
Their relationship so far is killing me. Like the fact that like his dad is such an asshole to him, and then once in a while he still has his little snarky ass kid comments, and I kind of like that he like dishes it back a little bit once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I really
Um,
loved? Because I didn't play much further than where you are, but I loved when they show Atreus raging because I didn't play a lot of the old God of Wars, but the whole thing about it is Kratos is fucking insane. Like he's rageful.
Right.
And so his son getting these blind rage moments was really cool. Like I just thought that was like a cool familial trait.
Yeah. Well, careful because James hasn't gotten that far yet.
No, but he did it. Remember
But-
when the ogre thing, he stabs his hand and then after it dies,
Yeah.
he's just
I-
stabbing
Oh,
it.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that he I didn't expect that. I actually kind of laughed out loud when that happened because I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's dope!" Like
Yeah,
he
he-
like instinctually stabbed the hand when it grabbed for the deer. I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool because it is like you can tell he's warrior raised, like he's
Right,
raised to be a
right.
fighter.
But yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
world's
good.
great. It doesn't really have. It's kind of got that like Tomb Raider path thing going for it. I'm sure it'll be like wider paths and areas and stuff. That's fine. I expect that. I was surprised when you said there's like side mission potential in there.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't have that feel to me. Like it kind of feels like it's just gonna be like story, But
Yeah. So like that's not really spoilers, but you're still in the beginning pretty much.
oh yeah,
You'll get to an area where you see like, oh, okay, this is the main hub, and then there's spokes. So basically, like there'll be a main area that will serve as the main kind of world map,
Mhm.
and from there you branch out into different little like biomes or realms, and then so you'll have moments where you could be like, all right, do I want to go main quest or do I want to do side quest? Do I want to look for, and there'll be a million things for you to do. Like there'll be like one thing is like the hidden, like how Odin has ravens. There's hidden ravens everywhere in the game. So like find all 52 hidden ravens, or there's a lot of different side quest things. Find people keep telling you about Valkyries. The Valkyries are basically there's like I think 8 tombs, and you find them, and each one's a boss fight, and they get harder and harder. So like, oh, find the Valkyries and do all that shit. So it eventually becomes a big game. It'll be like Elden Ring. Once you complete the main story, you can still keep playing the game and go like complete shit. Like that, I never did that. Once I beat the main story, like that game came out and I beat it probably in the first month or two it came out, and I've never played it since. Like
Yeah,
beat
I mean,
the
I'll
game.
I'll hyper focus the main story, but I will want to do the little side. If there's side boss fights, like you're saying, the Valkyries, I will
Yeah,
want to
dog.
do those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's dope shit. I believe there's even like, oh God, I think there's like an Infinity Gauntlet Easter egg kind of with like,
That's
you know
cool.
how there's runes. I think there's like kind of like a little thing where you can kind of make him like a little infinity gauntlet. And then I won't say shit, but yeah, there's armor. You'll collect. The armor doesn't change too much, but it's not like you're gonna have like really different looks. But there
Yeah.
is a lot of different armor, and there is some like pretty badass looking shit. Like there is cool looking stuff, but I mean, it's not like you're gonna have like completely different looks like Elden Ring.
No, yeah. Yeah, I had heard that's one thing I came in. I'm pretty well going into this game like completely blind. And the one thing I did hear from a friend was that they wish there was more to the main weapon for the character because it's basically like changing the skin of it more or less, and then a couple runes here and there if you want to. But you
But
can't
it's
like
the Leviathan axe.
really. I know, but it's still like, they just kind of wish there was a little more option with it, I guess. I personally don't care because I would choose an axe anyway. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like, I got the weapon I want, so I'm fine with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm super into it. I look forward to continuing the journey of it because I'm loving it. But again, keep in mind, I'm what, 3 hours in or so, 2.5, and I haven't reached any longevity to where I would have things that are really annoying me yet, or repetitiveness or anything
Yeah.
that I may or may not notice. So, there's a chance in the future my opinion will change, and we'll see. I mean, I'll definitely be sharing it with the nerds all the way through.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, it's a video game, so there's definitely like some stuff that'll be annoying here and there, but for the most part, there's a reason why a lot of people say it's the best game ever made. So since people say that, you can at least account for the fact that it's going to at least be pretty good. So that's you at least have to look forward to, like, all right, it's going to be pretty cool at least. So I'm excited
and I
to
mean, I
play it.
assume that because obviously it's extremely hyped up as being one of the greatest. So I mean, I have pretty high expectations that I've kind of kept down as much as possible because, again, I've never even played any God of War games, so
Yeah.
I'm not really going in knowing any, like, having any attachment to the main character or any of his lore or anything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not attached to anything because I just haven't grown up with it,
Yeah, I mean, man, those first ones were so great. If there's ever a way in the future that they can become available to play, it'd be fun because they're completely different games. They're like hack and slash action.
Well, I
combo
remember them
games.
being, I remember seeing videos of people fighting like these huge Titan like things with these chain axe thingies and what, like, I don't know, it's almost like you could like hit them and like kind of pull yourself up with them and do this.
Yeah, I used to
crazy
like
shit.
knock them in the air, jump, and like air combo them and do all these flips. It used to be like, it's a really crazy series. And yeah, he used to have these weapons called
Chaos Blades?
the Chaos Blades, and they were just like daggers on the ends of chains, and he would do nunchuck, basically giant fucking whip shit. They were pretty awesome weapons, but in this one you get
So was
the Leviathan axe.
Yeah, was the axe ever a thing until this one,
No.
or okay?
He left, like when I explained in the chat last night, basically, like, he kills everything in that world, literally kills every god, every titan, and then he just exiles himself to the Scandinavian shit and just forgets everything. And this game starts with that dude knocks on his door, and he's like, how do they know who I am? How would they know who I am? And then you met the chick, the witch, and she was like, they're gonna fucking figure it out. Like, trust me, they're not gonna be happy. So it's pretty like,
Hey,
once
all the gods existed, baby. All of them.
once I
That is
once I was
pretty
watching
cool that like it transcends the original Greek, mythology stuff. I kind of really liked that.
Yeah, and you'll see dope stuff. Like I remember you finding like, you found like this room, and there was like a big chest you opened up, and there was like art in there, like a storyboard.
Yeah.
Like you'll find like storyboard stuff that will tell you story shit. It's pretty cool, man. Like as I was watching, it was reminding me more of because I only played that game one time, and it's reminding me how good it is and how like man, like I want you to be super careful of like spoilers and people being dickheads and saying
Oh,
shit
I'm good about it.
because there's really cool, interesting, fun stuff. And also, man, like there's really good delivery in the dialogue and stuff. Like
I'm glad you
when
said that.
when you shoot the pig and the witch is like you're a fucking god, I can tell. And she's like, does he know? And she's like, and he's like, that's none of your fucking business. Shut the fuck up. And she's like, you're gonna have to tell him. Like that whole scene right there, man, I was like, fuck, dude. And there's just like,
Yep.
just thinking about the rest of the game, I'm like, fuck, dude, I want you to play the whole thing. It's a good, it's really good stuff. They did a good job. And
Dude, that whole first fight and the dialogue and interaction there was just like kind of mind blowing to me. Speaking of, especially on the voice acting, like that
Yeah.
dude's voice of that first Viking guy that comes in is so good. And then just,
I mean, it's not. I can tell you his name. It's not really like a thing. Like he's just a Viking guy. It's not like a spoiler. His name. Do you want to know his name?
sure.
His name is Baldur.
Okay.
So if I guess I never looked it up, but Baldur. So Baldur is his name. But
Mhm.
There are
I
Baldur
actually-
Knights in Dark Souls. Like the
There's the what?
Baldur
Baldur Knights?
Knights. Yeah, remember the guys
Oh.
in Dark Souls 1
Oh,
with
yeah.
the red capes?
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it. I don't know who the fuck he is, but that's his name.
It's,
Yeah, he feels no pain and he can just regenerate. So that's why.
yeah.
And I forgot. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, when you break his neck and throw him off, it's like yeah, he's probably not dead because
no, yeah, I assume
he
that.
just
yeah.
he just regenerates.
Yeah, right. That's his whole thing was
Yeah.
like regenerate.
The
Unless you
one-
rip his head off, I don't think it's gonna take him out. So
So one thing I will say, which is not a spoiler, has nothing to do with the story of the game at all, but I don't want you to be have too high hopes for like boss fight stuff. So the original God of War games were like super big about boss fights. You fought all the gods and it was crazy and shit. This game's really about Kratos and Atreus and like the journey, and there are boss fights, but there's not like a dozen crazy badass boss fights. There's like a handful of like boss fights.
when I
There's not
say
a ton
that,
of-
when I say this looks like a boss fight, I'm more saying the area. Like I can tell it's an arena area.
yeah, definitely.
I know I say it a lot in the game. I'm like, oh, here's a boss fight, and what I mean is it's an arena where I'm gonna have to fight something to get out of the arena.
Yeah, like yeah. But I'm just saying, like, well, I guess yeah, because you wouldn't have reference like in the other God of War games. You'd think like, all right, cool. What god can you think of? Has he fought Poseidon yet? Oh, he's gonna fight Poseidon. He's gonna fight this one. He's gonna fight that one.
Yeah.
So in this one, like, it doesn't like they're going to build up. It's very story heavy, so they're gonna build shit up. So it's like, it's not like you're gonna walk in a room and be like, oh, it's Odin boss fight right away. Like that's not gonna happen. Like the game is they're doing a really good job of storytelling, and I'm
Yeah.
stoked to see what Ragnarok's gonna do. They've started releasing gameplay footage, but only the accessibility options. So they've shown us what like Kratos just walking up to a wall and like accessibility choices, which Ragnarok obviously kind of looks like this one, but obviously a little bit better because this one we've reached the uncanny valley. They're not going to get that much better. But if you see the like the
Well, this is still old gen game though, too, isn't it?
yeah, but even Ragnarok, they're doing that thing where they make it on both. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna
but
have
it's
the
still gonna-
PS5, but it
It'll
still
have
runs on
the old
PS4.
base. Yeah.
Yeah. So and
If
like
it's ever on both, that means it's still old gen.
exactly, pretty much.
They just do the upscale thing to it.
Yeah,
when
pretty
you play
much.
it on the system.
And Atreus like looks like, I guess spoilers, Atreus doesn't die because he's in the second one, but like he's a little bit older. Like in this one he's like a kid, and the next one he's not like a man yet, but you could tell he's in that like 16, 17 range.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably the same voice actor who was the kid, who is probably fucking 4 or 5 years older now by now. So his voice
interesting.
is the same, but he's also like growing into his voice. And so like
That's
I
really
just look
cool
forward to
to
seeing
think
like
about.
what are they gonna do?
Yeah,
Say again?
sorry. That's really cool to think about that like they have enough time in between games, you know, like that his aged voice actually makes sense, right? Like
Yeah.
Right.
that's kind
Like
of
in
cool.
the game, he's about 4 or 5 years older in the new one, and the kid is actually 4 or 5 years older. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't have any like number of boss fight anticipation or anything like that. Like I expect just a story game, honestly. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's why when you said there was maybe a little bit more of an open world to it, that's than what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
That kind of surprised me because it just feels very like narrative driven. So I don't have like these high expectations for like I don't even expect the boss fights to be like these overly difficult things either, and they may be, but I expect it to be more about like you have the fight, but then the video or the cinematics with it and the the narration and the interactions and stuff like that's really the main piece of the fights. So
Yeah.
I mean,
The main thing really is like the story they're telling. They do a really good job of that. But I mean, but also, just be aware you're gonna get tons of content. There is like you're like, oh, there's side quests. Yes, dog. Like a lot. Like there's so much. There's just as much, if not more, out of main quest content as main quest content. Like there is a lot of shit. You'll meet a lot of characters, and there'll be a lot of stuff to like explore and find. And like, how when you're playing a game and it's like, oh, I found another um data file, and it's just like when I'm playing Cyberpunk and I'm like, oh, another data file, never gonna read that. Like there's a lot of shit like that, like a lot of like story stuff. And like
yeah,
it's
I
pretty,
don't see myself pushing that stuff too much just because I feel like this is a narrative game and I'm going to want to like stay in the story,
yeah,
I think.
for sure.
I don't know if I'm going to want to play this like I play a normal open world game where I do want to collect all that little shit because I really feel like this is a story and I'm going to really be like in deep on the story.
Yeah, I would definitely like recommend that.
I'll
Like,
explore. But,
yeah, you'll
you
explore
know.
and play stuff, but like when I beat the game, I saw how much I had to do afterwards, and I didn't want to burn out and not like the game. Like I didn't want to do what I did with like with like Aaron, how Aaron felt with like Elden Ring. Like, oh, I burned myself out by going max level with it. So like I remember I beat the game, I was in such a good place with it, and then I started
Yeah.
doing some of the side content. I'm like, man, this is a real challenging. I'll come back to it, and I never went back to it. So now I'm excited because like I can go back and like
Mhm.
go do all that side shit. But yeah, definitely, yeah, take it however you take it because it's pretty good. It's a special game, so I'm happy
Yeah.
you get to play it and enjoy it. And we were talking about like whatever PlayStation thing that has like to be able to play it on PC, whatever. Yeah, like let's figure that out because you'll be able to play Bloodborne because I'm pretty damn sure you'll be able to run Bloodborne. Bloodborne's a fucking 6-year-old game. The game came out like 2016, I think. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to run that game with no problems, and that game is super awesome.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I would, even though it says it's still up, I would hold off on any of that stuff until they fully launch the new all-in-one shit.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation is basically shutting down all of their subscription stuff and all of their shit and turning it into one thing. So I would wait until they just do that. Like
Yeah,
next,
that was
next month.
it was honestly a big reason I wasn't playing this game too is that I know there's another one coming out and I gonna if this is as good as everybody says it is, I'm gonna want to play the next one and I'm not gonna have the option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, this one coming to PC gives me a good idea that I'll probably get it in like 5 years, but like I don't want to wait.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cool.
But yeah,
All right.
that's
Okay.
it. That's all I got.
Alrighty. So let's see here. So I did roll credits on 2 games. I finally rolled credits on Aliens Fire Team Elite. So it's not that bad. It's still, we've gone over it before. Aliens Fireteam Elite is a really good base for a multiplayer shooter. A team-based PvE kind of horde mode shooter thing, and it is fun. I do like it. It is a pretty cool game. I think it's worth it if it's on some kind of Game Passer thing, and I think it's worth it if it's like, I think it's worth it for like $20, maybe 15, 20. I like it, but man, it is pretty bare bones. But I did like it. I also rolled credits on Injustice 2, which I had beat before a million times, but not a million times. But there's a story mode. But I didn't realize you can go back and like with those NetherRealm fighting game story modes, there's branching paths. So I didn't realize that you can go back and like make different decisions and open different branches. So I did go ahead and complete all the branching paths and unlocked the end of it, which was cool. To unlock this, like the branching path ending has like Superman winning, and he like morbs with the Brainiac ship, and then he like mind morbs Batman, and there's like a Brainiac ship version of Batman and Superman. That's pretty cool. But yeah, Injustice, it was all right. Other than that,
I did do the story on that with Batman all the way through.
That's what I did first,
I remember the Brainiac ship and everything.
Yeah, I beat it all the way with Batman, and I never went back into the Superman stuff. Why? Superman is whack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Superman's trash.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, he's really not that bad. Like on paper, Superman's pretty whack, but I mean, he actually is like a pretty cool character. But I mean, he's whack. But Injustice is fine. What else? Horizon is still going. It's still doing the thing where it's kind of boring. It's kind of here and there, but then every now and then the story's getting good. The story is getting pretty cool. I'm continuing to play it, so check me out on Twitch playing that.
Hell yeah.
I think video game wise, that's it. I did try Salt and Sanctuary. I played it for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was cool. It was a nice little $5. Played it a bit. I doubt I'll ever play it again. It's just not my. I don't know, man. It looks kind of like a Flash game. Like I can tell that it's just like little like paper cutouts put together like with a movement. So it kind of like looks weird to me. But it is a pretty neat game. I don't like that it doesn't have a map. I think that's what's making me kind of not want to play it. I'm probably thinking it's bigger than it is. But yeah, so I'm probably not gonna play that. Almost there. I have been watching, so I mostly watch YouTube. That's why I do also still have YouTube Premium. It's super worth it. I did find a new channel. I like watching spooky shit because that's kind of like what I go to bed at night. So I watch a lot of I listen to like spooky stories and shit and stuff like that. And I found a new channel. Like I like spooky channels. Like there's a channel called Rainbot, which is this girl who just reads like 5 disturbing stories from the internet, like shit like that. Or like that guy, I don't know if you know Jameson Aaron. You know that guy who's like, I can't do his voice. He's the guy who's like, and then the man was creeping through the window.
Oh God, I hate that guy. In 1993, a girl was killed in 92-degree weather, and then the man stabbed her with a knife that was 70 degrees Celsius. And you're like,
yeah,
dude, what I love is all the comments are like, what the fuck is wrong with your voice? Stop talking like that, because it's a choice. That's not like no one talks like
dog.
that.
It's a choice.
I hate that guy, and I blocked, like, I made it so I can't see his shit because I hate him.
No way, dude. I love it, bro.
And then his dad killed him with a car. It's so bad. It's like Valley Boy. It's so weird that he does that voice.
But there's a little bit of like, maybe he can't control it. Like a little bit of like, are you being ableist almost?
If I am, I'm okay with it. Fuck anyone who sounds like that.
But I found a new channel that I kind of like. It's called Lazy Masquerade, and it's just a guy that just like will either just like, what I do like about it is it's not like five unsolved mysteries. It's not like five. It'll be like 5 unsolved mysteries that were finally solved. and like, and
You
So-
said you couldn't do it. You do the voice really well.
but what I did notice is, man, a lot of these like, oh, this person was just murdered in like a park. It's like in 2016, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, we're getting old. Time's progressing, and like, news travels quicker. So I have been coming across a lot more macabre and really terrible things that happen.
Dude, you started in his voice for a second. You said, I have been exactly like him.
But it's pretty bad, man. It sucks, dude. Speaking of which, my girlfriend told me the other night she heard all this crazy noise, and apparently over there by you, Aaron, Coconut, and over in Cocoa area,
Yeah.
this guy like broke into his neighbor's house, shot her in the head, beat her infant baby nearly to death, went outside, stole a car. I think he like killed a man, stole a car, drove it into like a building, got out, robbed a woman, stole a car, drove it somewhere, and then eventually crashed it into like by like the Walgreens or something, and then ran down the street naked to the gas station that was across the street from my girlfriend's old place, and that's where the cops caught him. That was like last week.
And then the man stole a car.
No, but like, dude, how random! And
You know
the
what's
lady
crazy?
killed was just a neighbor.
Is now I realize it kind of works because the voice just keeps you going down the story. Because
Yeah.
he killed a girl, broke into her house, and then he beat the baby.
The infant baby, and it's in critical condition, but hopefully it survived. But no, anyways, so I've been watching this Lazy Masquerade guys videos. They're pretty good. I like spooky shit, but it's making me like feel bad because like, man, there's a lot of bad stuff. But if you like, disturbing or creepy or macabre or spooky or crime stuff, Lazy Masquerade is a pretty cool channel. I did
Bro,
pick up.
I'm telling you, that voice just unlocked memories for me of like how angry those videos would make me.
We gotta find out what his name is. But yeah,
I think there's
I did-
multiple. I think he's the original, and then there's people that do it to make fun of him.
Yeah, I've heard people bring him up. Like, he's definitely very famous. Like, the voice is a very famous voice. I did find the remaining issues for Street Fighter 2 by Tokuma Comics. It's a 1994 Street Fighter comic book series. It's almost like manga art style. And I like to collect as much Street Fighter stuff as I can, obviously. I think I have every single animated Street Fighter anything. And then I have most of all the comics. Because Capcom never really like reined it in with the story. A lot of different companies and people have been able to just retell the Street Fighter story. The Street Fighter story is pretty basic, and a lot of people have told it in different ways. So for me, it's interesting to see, like, all right, how are these guys going to tell the story? Like, sometimes it's really silly, like sometimes it's just run of the mill generic. So I did post those on the Instagram. They're pretty awesome. I was missing a couple, and I went to Tate's Comics the other day, and I saw like, oh man, I found a couple more there. But man, Tate's does upcharge a lot. So I went online and I'm like, let me take a look. Like, I have 3, 4, 6, and like 7 or some shit, or 3, 4, and 6 or something like that. Another, and Tate's had like all but 7. And then I look online. I'm like, all right, they're selling the one for $10. I go online. One is $3.25 from Midtown Comics, a pretty big comic book store from somewhere up north. So I was able to like order ones from different comic shops online that I needed, and then pick up the ones that I didn't have left from Tate's. I think I bought 2 and 5 from Tate's or something like that, or maybe not. No, doesn't matter. I think I got 8. The final one. Anyways, I got the full run of Street Fighter 2 by Tokuma Comics, which is pretty neat. I really do like collecting Street Fighter stuff. I like it a lot. I'm waiting on what I'm hoping is a hidden treasure. There's a band called Cynic. I think is very good. Cynic. Cynic is a very good band. They have a really great album called Traced in Air. And it's really hard to find on vinyl. It's very, very hard. There aren't many that exist. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. And I think back in like 2016 or something, they had remixed the album, as in just remixed the audio and then put it out again. And it's really hard to find. And one thing that when you're collecting stuff, don't just look at like the niche stores that sell the shit you're trying to collect. Look other places. If anybody collects records, check fucking bestbuy.com and check like Walmart. And I'm telling you, these places get records and people don't think to look there. You can go on fucking bestbuy.com and you can search the King of Fighters, and they have like King of Fighters 98, 2000, 2001, like the vinyl soundtracks. They're expensive, I'm not gonna lie, they are expensive, but it's because they're impossible to find. It's literally like the only place you can find these fucking records. Only reason I don't own them is those soundtracks are really bad. Like that's the one thing about SNK and King of Fighters. I like the music, but the music's not very good. So I can't justify spending $80 to $100 on a record that is really going to sound that bad. But I found Traced in Air by Cynic on Walmart for retail, which is like $30, $35. And I fucking ordered it. It took them a week to find it though. I saw it was like your order is being processed, and it like a whole week went by, and just today I saw your order has been shipped. Bro, I'm thinking there's no fucking way they found that thing, because if they found that thing and it was in their warehouse, it had to have been sitting there for years by now. So I'm hoping that I receive it and it's in good condition and it's what I ordered, but I'm kind of thinking that something else is going to come in the mail, because it would be too much good fortune for me to have found that. It's like literally the only place on the internet that I can find that album for like that kind of price. So we're looking forward to that coming through. And I think the last one is me talking shit. Oh no, another one is I ordered a book last night. I didn't even realize, but thank the gods for the algorithmic shit that they do to the phones, because last night I got a little King of Fighters thing when I'm flipping through Instagram. I had no idea SNK is putting out the King of Fighters, the official history. I think it's something like 500 pages or some shit. And it shipped today, and last night in the middle of the night, I saw the book. I was like, no way, this is a King of Fighters book? And I look it up. It wasn't that expensive. It's 544 pages. The book looks really nice. It's only 34.99 euros. So about $45. And I bought it, and it's shipped. So I'm kind of excited about that, because I really like the King of Fighters, and I have a lot of Capcom and Street Fighter books, but I don't have anything for like the King of Fighters or anything like that. And the King of Fighters does have like kind of a complicated history, somewhat sort of, and this book is gonna tell you the entire history of all of it. So I really do look forward to being able to actually read this book and learn about it. There's a link in the thing if you want to see what the book looks like in the docket. So yeah, last is like a little story time. So I highly doubt that this person is going to listen to the podcast, and if you do, dog, my bad. I'm just speaking my fucking feelings. But like, so I have a friend. I'm not going to talk too much detail because, whatever. I've been friends with this guy since high school. Not the closest of friends, but we've known each other since high school, and we've been buddies. For a little while, we even like used to live right by each other. Like, I used to see him a lot, like recently. And we're bros. We talk a lot. Sometimes he'll call me and we'll talk for hours. And he's a cool dude, like the guy. We can chew the fat for hours, dude. Good friend of mine. So the other day I get a text from my friend in the middle of the day. He goes, when I get back in town, you and me need to start a YouTube channel. So I'm
There
thinking
you
in
go.
my head, okay,
Music or
it's one of two things, right? So in my head I go, okay, about what? And this guy messages me back, video games and comic book movies. So I'm just
never
like,
seen a YouTube channel
I-
covering that yet.
but here's the thing is, I
Also-
wait a moment, and I just send him a picture of our little dudes, the Nerds the Podcast thing, and I'm like, hey man, I've been doing that for almost 10 years, and you should know that. And what's bothering me about this is, look, man, I know I ain't nobody, and I'm not saying like, oh, we've been doing this for so long. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, hey, man, you're my friend, and you've been around for a long time,
Right.
and you're telling me that you don't fucking know that I already do this. You know what I mean? Like it just lets me know, like, sometimes you can talk to somebody a million times, bro, and some people just don't listen to you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man, like I kind of like do that. We do an episode every week, and we stream multiple times a week live on Twitch. And so he's like, oh, and then like waits a minute, and he's like, oh, I'm in a YouTube channel though. So I maybe he was saying a YouTube channel. I think he's doubling down to like it's hard because it sounds like I'm trying to be like, oh, you should like I'm not trying to say like that I'm any. It's nothing about what we do or me being anything. It's the fact that like it's like telling somebody, it's like somebody you've known for fucking 15 or more years, like, damn dog, you didn't know that I fucking already do that. like it's frustrating, you know, because
Yeah.
in some sort of way he's an artist as well, and I'm like supportive, you know what I mean? Like I support their art and stuff, and other friends, like it's rough sometimes being an artist. Like when I used to do music and stuff, like you can't really, I don't like, I would never push my music on people, so I wouldn't force people to listen to it, but it still would kind of bum me out when you notice that like
Right.
people that like have been friends with you for so long fucking have never even bothered to listen to your music. Like that bums me out, because I'll have friends who are like, hey man, oh, I made a beat, and I'll be like, send it to me, I want to hear it. I drew something, oh, let me see it. I like, you know, but you can't expect people to be like that. But like, I mean, the conversation I was talking to Aaron about the other day, and the conversation like morphed into this other thing that reminded me of a quick little story about a guy. Like I was thinking, like, man, does he know that I do podcasts, and he just wants to do like because when he's like, I'm in a YouTube channel, I'm like, oh, like that's really hard. You need like a solid ass editor, and like that's a lot more work, and also a enormous kind of like pool to jump into.
Right.
Like you think it's easy, like, oh, let's talk about Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. You know how fucking hard it is to edit clips of a movie to a conversation about that movie when you're talking about random parts of the movie? Like if someone's like, oh yeah, and then MJ's kind of like you know, rolls her eyes at Peter a lot. She's like, thinks he's kind of you have to find every scene of fucking MJ when she's kind
Yeah.
of like, you know, snobbing off fucking Peter, and like clip it together. Like editing is so much harder than just doing kind of what we do with podcasting and stuff. Like, and this guy, no offense, I'm just saying, I know he doesn't edit videos. You know what I mean? Like, so I told him like, oh, I have no experience with that. Like, what? Where'd you get
Yeah.
where'd the idea come from? And he's like, oh, you know, yeah, I know the logistics of it. I was just thinking about you because, you know, your personality and your hair. What? Like I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Maybe you're trying to be funny, but like where'd the idea come from? Like that's a big thing to just say, oh, I want to do a IP critic channel, like out of nowhere, which is obviously you gotta start somewhere.
Mhm.
But like it made me think like I was gonna tie it to a quick story about when I first started making music, right? 'Cause I'm not referencing him at this point anymore, but I was thinking like sometimes if somebody sees you do something and they're like, oh, like at one point I was like, man, I already do that with two of my friends, and he was like, this guy was like, oh, let me know if you need a fourth, and I was just like, it's not that easy. Like it's like, what do you mean let you know if we need a fourth? Like, you just want to jump in? Like, have you even heard the show? I doubt it. That's why I'm comfortable having this conversation with y'all right now, because I know he's not gonna listen. If he does, I'm sorry. I'm not talking shit, and I'm definitely not comparing you to the next guy that I'm about to talk about. But it reminded me that little thing about like, somebody sees you doing something and they're like, oh, like we should totally do that, and it's like, but I'm doing that. Like when you're in, like when I'm actively in a band and someone's like, we should start a band, and I'm like, but I'm in one. Oh, like,
Yeah. Do you need
so
a new guitarist later?
you need a bass player? I have a bass player, but like, do you like him? So you just want to join my band? Like when I first started doing music, like around 2009ish, not when I first started, but when I got my first band, I was in a band called Insidious. They were pretty cool stuff. You'll hear it soon because 15 years later, we're finally uploading all the music on Spotify and shit soon. So like, it was like kind of new metal, but a little heavier because my vocals were heavier. It's kind of like, may think non-pointy, but like real heavy and less Latin. But like, there was this kid I knew. His name was James. And to be fair, back in 1999, I got my first job at Publix in like 1998 as bag boy, and me and this kid were bag boys, and he gave me my first Deftones CD. He gave me a burnt CD. He gave me a goddamn burnt CD that said Deftones in red on it, and it was Around the Fur. Changed my life.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, changed my life. And he was like, when we used to call them grungies. Grungies were like the metal kids, the goth kids. He used to like do the thing with the gel where he'd spike his hair into little spikes and shit and wear Jinkos and shit. He was like one of those kids. But for some reason, when we graduated, I wasn't really friends with him in school very much. But after high school, for some fucking reason, me and this guy's kid started like kind of talking again. He'd come over sometimes and we'd like smoke weed and shit. I was probably like 20 or some shit. And I was starting to like do music, and I was starting to like have music and stuff, and like, and I start showing him some of my music. And this guy gets so excited. He was like a Asian American. I think his mom was Asian, his dad was American, and he was really into like new metal and shit. He was really into like internet elite speak at that time. Remember when they learned how to spell elite, like
1337?
And to him, it was like underground cult shit. Like he was like all about it. Like, nah, man, I'm elite. And like he was like, I was like, whatever, dude, whatever you say. And I show him the music, and it's just fucking me just doing music on my own, whatever. And he gets like super excited. And like a couple days later, he comes over and he's like, I know what we're gonna do. And like, it was probably when I was like 20. I don't know, whatever. He's like, we're gonna be the next big band. And I'm like, what? He's like, dude, like with your like rapping, because I was like a rapper and shit at the time, and like your rock singing, he's like, dude, we're gonna be like the next like Linkin Park. And I'm like, James, what the fuck are you talking about? And he is like elated. He came over with this big thing. He's like, I've been thinking about this for days. We're really gonna do this. This is amazing. And I'm like, what do you mean though? Like, he's like, dude, I can already picture it, like us on stage, like you up front with the mic, like doing the thing, and like I'm behind you on like two turntables with like a gas mask on, right?
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, but
God,
James, you don't know how to DJ though. And he's like, nah, that part doesn't matter. Like, that part doesn't matter. I'm like, but do you have turntables? He's like, no. I'm like, DJing is really hard, man. I'm like, you want? He's like, no, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna be how we look. He's like, you're gonna be doing the rap stuff, and I'm gonna be back with my spiked hair and my gas mask, and I'm gonna be DJing. And like, man, I already told my friends about it. He's like, I already told Jimmy and fucking Sarah about it. I'm like, this is gonna be huge. And I'm like, what do you mean? And I had to like explain to this guy, like, what are you talking about? Like, like they're like you can't like you don't do anything. And like you don't DJ. And he's like, that doesn't matter. That's not the point. Like I can just stand there like I'm DJing. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like it's not gonna work.
So he wanted you to like put in all the work of actually like.
So he basically was like, yo, I think that your rapping and your singing is cool. And he's basically thinking like, oh, I think that you can make it. Can I just post up behind you as a DJ? And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so fucking great. I'm not. I was fucking young and I was just whatever. I never went anywhere with it. But I mean, it was just weird that somebody would just out of nowhere come out and like just say that. And when I kind of broke it to him, like, no, James, that's a ridiculous idea. Fucking no. This dude lost his shit at me, left, right? And then proceeded to like stalk my internet and phone for like a year. Now, this guy used to work in a McDonald's, and he would laugh and tell me stories about he got a felony stalking charge because they used to prank call this one old couple every day, and they prank called him to the point where it became a felony stalking charge.
Jesus.
So we're talking about this kind of person, and this dude would make new MySpace accounts and Facebook accounts every day, and I'd have to block it. And he'd come on my page and just put terrible stuff, and he'd call my house, and he'd call my cell phone. And it was crazy, man. I literally did nothing to the guy. I was just like, no, you can't pretend DJ behind me while I rap. And he ended up stalking
crazy.
Well, you should say hi to him because he's probably listening now.
He's
I
just
don't know,
still waiting
yeah.
for you to be
Hi,
like,
James.
bro, you were right. Come DJ, come fake DJ for my rap rock band. That I'll do all the work. I'll have to write all the lyrics, and you'll just pretend to DJ.
Yeah.
That was what he offered you.
God.
Yeah,
Like-
man. I just remember like the one time when he came over and he was like, I've been thinking about this for days. We're really gonna do this, man. And I
We
was
had
like,
a guy do something like that, but not. I mean, he wanted me and my brother to be in a band with him or whatever, and so we were like, pick some random like radio songs to go, and we were like, oh, he's like, my uncle's got a full setup, and we'll just go over there and we'll practice. And like we get over there, and me and my brother just like naturally, he's a bass player, I'm a drummer. We just like were in sync, like terrifically. Like it was
yeah, in the pocket.
odd and great. It was perfect. Like his uncle and their band, like visibly noticeable. This dude could barely play guitar, like had been going around telling people we were a band, we were gonna do this battle of bands, all this shit. And we go to like practice one time or just jam, and he has no idea how to play. He said, well, I can kind of sing, so. And yeah, it was real bad. And he like tried to sing like 3 Days Grace, if I remember right. Like, and it was just real bad. And he did the Linkin Park rappy stuff. All of it. It's there's always that one. Well, it's not always just one though, but there's just like that weird thing where some people like are really committed to thinking that it's so cool that they think they can do it, but don't actually like put the time into it. And then it's, like, yeah, it sounds cool, man, but there's a lot of work that goes into that shit.
Yeah. I mean, and even like
like
with the music thing, like not to self-aggrandize myself, I had and have the ability to like create, but I lack all of the organizational and managerial drive. I'm not a hustler. I'm not a go-getter. I'm not
we met
about that
when we
paper.
were younger, Jesse.
Yeah, dude, that's my problem is
That was my
I'm
thing in the band, was being the organized one and getting us everything booked and keeping us
like-
on track.
Yeah, my problem in my whole music career that I had is I was just raw talent. I would write songs and perform and sing my heart out and do the dopest shit, but I would never lay shit down. Like I would never lay. I like wrote albums of music and would perform them. Like I was the Jester, and I wrote like an album called Desolate, and I had another album called The Joke, and never recorded those songs. I have them recorded on shitty little demo recordings that I would just have a recorder on my knee. So I have the songs, and that was always good enough for me. But I never like went to the studio and recorded my shit and put it out and whatever. And here I am 20 years later, 18 years later, And I'm like, damn, dude, those songs that I always was like, oh, I'll never forget them. They're in the back of my head. And I'm thinking, like, how the fuck do I play conflict resolution? How do I play Let's Start a Fight? Like, and it's a bummer. Like, even if you have the ability to DJ with a gas mask on, that's not enough. Because I will tell you, I had all of it, bro. I had all of the talent and the ability to become, I believe, world tier.
Yo,
world-class
honestly,
tier.
I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna be the next Linkin Park, dude. Hear
Yeah.
me out. Here's what we're gonna
But-
do.
but I didn't have any of the discipline or the organization and shit like that, and I fucked it up. So all I'm saying is maybe we use the Twitch money and we buy some turntables and a gas mask, and Aaron, you can
Hell
start
yeah.
practicing.
No, you need to start doing that shit on Twitch. Get some flashing strobing lights, little greens.
Yeah.
Well, so
It's
I'm
a whole
actually
image.
I'm really good at pretending. So we're pretty much set, honestly.
We could.
Because I'm just gonna stand there with turntables that aren't even plugged in.
There's
Putting
not
one,
even a record on the turntable.
yeah,
You're
one
just
headphone to
spinning
my
the disc.
ear. I'm just like, you're not even hearing anything that sounds like I'm DJing. You know, I'm just
Nodding, but not to the time
Yep.
or tempo of the
off
music.
tempo. Yep,
Yeah, that's it.
Love it.
that's it. It's only
That's
been
it.
2
We can-
hours of us talking about our weeks as usual. I'm not. That's not me hating on you. I'm just saying it's funny. You're like, that's it, and it's 2 hours.
What a hater.
No, I know. I mean, yeah,
Good
pretty much
thing-
all we
good
have is
thing
news and then
You don't have
She-Hulk.
to worry about that anymore because you're leaving us to start a YouTube channel. So, I mean,
Oh yeah, that's true.
just soak up the
Yeah,
hate,
that is
dude.
true. Hate.
Yeah.
I do love the idea that people just be like, "Hey, dude, we should like." I don't know how to even describe it. That'd be like me coming to Jesse and be like, "Bro, you know what we need to do? Play Dark Souls, dude."
Yeah.
Yo, have you heard of this shit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to get back on the first thing, it's just a bummer, man. Like, it's like me recommending something to somebody who that already does it.
Yeah.
Like, man, Aaron, you should probably like look into like film school.
Yeah. Yo.
You know, it's like, but what do you mean, dude? What do you mean? Let's start. What do you mean? Let's critique video games and comic book movies, dude. I do that.
yeah.
Also, you don't play video games.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Oh no.
Shit. That's right.
That's the part that bothers me. It's like, but you don't play video games, dude.
Does he read comics? Because if you're doing comic book movies,
don't
you
think
want to
so,
have
but-
some comic book.
Well,
knowledge,
here's the thing:
too.
is I can never say what anyone else does, but for the most part that I know is like I don't think he's out at the comic shop buying new issues.
Yeah.
But we all know the comic stories that we love, and we can talk infinitely about our favorite stories. You know what I mean? Like
Well-
if I was to ever like do a comic book episode of a podcast or something, I'm probably not going to be talking about new shit. I'd probably be like, I'd talk about like the few full runs of shit I did read. Like I read all of at least Nightfall Volume 1, the first real initial run of Nightfall, that 22 issues, and I loved it. I could talk about that for hours. I love that first initial Nightfall thing when Bane breaks out of the jail and comes here and he causes chaos for Batman and Batman's exhausted and he's waiting for him in his house. I love that whole thing. But I don't know what's going on now.
So
last-
we'd like to announce that we have a fourth co-host joining next week.
No,
Our
Anywho.
episodes will now be 4 hours.
I mean, also,
long.
and like immediately goes to need a fourth. It's like instead of like, hey, do you want to just maybe come on as a guest? Like we tell anybody they could come on.
Yeah, you got to
Immediately-
do what I did. You creep into the
exactly, like-
DMs, and then you start creeping into the
And
Discord.
you suck some
and
good
then
dick.
you
That's the key, right?
accidentally become friends, and then
Yeah.
lovers.
I hope he doesn't
in
hear
some
it because he's gonna
case.
fucking hate me for it. And I don't mean it I don't mean it from a bad place.
No, it
You know,
it is.
it's just
more,
frustrating that like yeah.
It's just disappointing. It's like in that way of like,
Yeah.
bro, I do like this is something I've been passionate about and doing, and you don't even know.
Yeah. Or
But-
didn't even acknowledge
Yeah.
like, oh hey,
If
I
you
know
did.
you do a thing. Like, have you ever thought? I don't know, but I mean, it's fine. I'm used to it. Used to being disregarded. No, I'm kidding. But we do have a slew of news. I believe the main thing this week is the She-Hulk trailer. But we got a bunch of news, so let's get to it.
The news.
You know what we need to do also?
News.
I need to go over your house, Aaron, one day when we have time, and we just gotta just make some new drops, man. Like,
I don't know how to put them on the soundboard anymore. I was trying for the other podcast, and I can't get it to work.
we'll figure it out.
I
Maybe
mean,
digital
I'm sure I
soundboard.
could figure it out and email it to you guys if you need me to.
Yeah.
Well, this app doesn't exist anymore.
I know I can find another one.
So it's rough.
Yeah, because I have little ideas and shit.
I'm pretty sure that's why Keith sent me all the stuff on. He's like, you're gonna have to do this now.
Alrighty, so first story I have is the new Disney Plus Daredevil series season is going to be a continuation of the Netflix, not a reboot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
that was-
pretty neat.
I'm glad it's confirmed, but I think we all thought it just because we got Vincent D'Onofrio back and Charlie Cox. Like, it seemed like it
How
would be
bizarre,
weird.
Yeah, would
to,
it be if they would
yeah,
have started over?
yeah.
Well, I could have seen like maybe a soft reboot-ish thing, but I'll be honest, that I still have a very large lingering concern, and that's the whole like Disney having their hands on it and not having the
Yeah,
dark
Drew.
feel it does with Netflix.
I don't think Drew Goddard's coming back either.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
well-
I haven't heard anything about that.
But they got 3
Hmm.
seasons to kind of reference and go off of. I mean, anybody can kind of like, I don't know, that anybody can, but somebody surely can like kind of keep it roughly in the same direction and feel. But I am still a little concerned about the whole like Disney's hands being on it, because we haven't, besides Doctor Strange 2, we haven't really got anything to me that like has built that confidence in like the future of like Deadpool and, you know, obviously Daredevil now. I mean, if they ever were to mention Punisher or something, I'd be like, there's just no way. Right now, you haven't shown anything that I feel confident you guys can like pull it off the way it was done already.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because Disney has a brand, right? It's like,
Yep.
yeah. But they are
I have
apparently
heard yeah, I think you're gonna say what I was gonna
that
say.
they're adding a rated R section.
Yep, I've heard that there was like already kind of leaked somewhere. It was like available once, like overseas, where like there was a section that was like the adult section more or less, and it was the rated R stuff from Fox and stuff like that. And then they like pulled it down real quick because I don't think it was supposed to come out yet. So I think it's already in the works. But I really wish they would have, especially in the dark feel Doctor Strange 2 had. I feel like it would have been a good opportunity to maybe give us just a nod at Deadpool or the potential of seeing that they're going to be open to doing, you know, a little bit more looter content. But I don't know, the dark feel of it, the dark feel of Doctor Strange 2 did build a little confidence for some of that stuff in the future.
Yeah, because it definitely was darker than other
Anything really.
other movies and other MCU content. But
It does still give me concerns of the speed in which we get to any type of progression in the MCU, though.
yeah, I do. So in retrospect of Multiverse of Madness, I will say it wasn't really a multiverse movie, other than like I wish we would have gone a little bit more into like the other universes and kind of the consequences of that.
No, red means go.
Yeah, it's like Paint
Ha, ha,
World,
ha.
LOL. We got the one world with the Illuminati and all that, and that was cool. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think we'll see everything we got that was in a different universe was super awesome, but it was more like Doctor Strange's from Multiverse of Madness. Like that's all it was different Doctor Strange's showing up in our movie.
I
our
mean,
universe mostly.
I still really liked Multiverse of Madness. I just feel like it wasn't as multiversal as it could be. I think Spider-Man No Way Home is probably more multiversal, and it didn't even go into other universes,
Yeah, it progressed us expanding into a multiple universe like MCU more than Doctor Strange did. And that's, I think, what one of the other big problems I had with that movie is just, you call it Multiverse of Madness. Like, I expect that to be a movie that really progresses us forward with the or the multiple universe thing. And I expect the next Ant-Man movie to also do that as well.
Yeah. What is it? What's it called?
Quantumania.
It's the
Something.
quantum
Yeah.
realm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Quantumania.
I don't know. I
Whoa.
am to the point now where I'm like, I don't know if I need so much MCU stuff.
Right.
I'm getting burnt out for sure.
All Disney shit is burning me out.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Star
Wars and Disney. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
kind of sad.
So next we have new news. Nev Campbell is going to star in the Twisted Metal TV show alongside Anthony Mackie, which is pretty out of left field.
Yeah.
I didn't really picture her to be in there. She's gonna play Raven, which is from fucking Twisted Metal, bro. Like she's the girl who drove the hearse.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
The dark-haired goth girl who drove the hearse
Yeah.
full of souls. I don't know, man. We'll see. I still have to see what this I still need to see how they're going to pull this Twisted Metal show off, because how do you do like the car combat tournament?
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Like
So
Or
they're
is it
also
just-
doing a reboot of the game too.
yes, something like
Oh,
that. Yeah,
jeez.
they're gonna. I'm down, dude.
No, I
Crazy, I'm
love
down.
the games. Yeah, I'm for
Well,
that.
'cause
but
the
I
games
just
were
don't
fun.
like that they're both coming out.
I mean, I'm pretty sure what it was is the TV show was going to get made, and then they were like, for sure, somebody better start making a game that we can put out alongside. I
Yeah.
think they're fucking stupid for not having the people that made Destruction All Stars just have them do it. In fact, Destruction All Stars, which was a PS5 launch title that flopped, should have 100% just been a Twisted Metal title.
For sure.
And I'm almost,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it should have been.
And
should've
honestly, it's kind of cool, the idea of like a Twisted Metal, but you can also get out of your car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Just have Twisted Metal, then you can get out and just fucking like a straight up M-rated game. But they want everything's got to be Fortnite, dude.
Yeah.
Everything's got to have that. Even Destruction All Stars has that kind of like Fortnite-y fucking flavor. Like it's just, it looks cool. I'm excited to play it. There's the kind of full list of the PS Plus games came out, and Destruction All Stars is on there, so I'm excited to try it. There's been rumblings that they're going to try to revive that game, and I'm hoping they can do it because it's a really cool concept and it plays pretty neat. But I'm not sure. But either way, I gotta see what the fuck this Twisted Metal show is gonna be like, because Twisted Metal is basically just about this guy Calypso. And Calypso basically just wishmasters your shit. Basically, he's like, I'm going to do a car combat tournament. And whoever wins the tournament gets one wish. It could be anything. But he wishmasters it. He gets your wish and he makes it bad. So it's like, I want $1 million. And he's like, okay, I'm going to kill your mom and you get $1 million from the settlement. Like in one of them, it was like, I want the whole world to this character wanted to be famous star, and they're like, I want the whole world to see my face, and he's like, okay, so he rips their face off and he stretches it over the moon.
Oh god.
Like it's stupid shit like that. Like that's, I mean, it's fun. I liked it because it was always like, whoa, how is he going to change the endings? You ever want to watch some silly dumb shit, just look up Twisted Metal endings. Twisted Metal Black or Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 2 is iconic. Yes. But I look forward to seeing what are they going to do. Is it just going to be like random car violence and they're calling it Twisted Metal, or will it actually be like there's a tournament, some death race type shit? I don't know.
It's
next.
gonna follow someone that's like, my son has cancer and I need to get money. That's 100%.
Anthony Mackie, bro.
Yeah, that's 100% what's gonna be.
It's going to be Anthony Mackie. Just, I don't know, man. We'll see.
You guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
You good?
sorry. My Skype crashed and like locked up my. I had to restart, and you guys
Didn't even notice.
Nice. Good. And the recording's going
That's how
fine, Aaron?
useless you are, dude. But hey, we need a fourth, actually.
I know,
Yes.
right? Do we
Hell
get,
yeah.
get
No,
replaced?
really a third now that I'm replaced. Yeah.
No, we need a fourth, and then we need a producer, young Jamie in the back with
Yeah.
wearing a
Yeah.
gas mask.
Look that shit up. And he's just
Um,
pretending to DJ.
The next one is so The Last of Us remake. It's a rumor, but it's probably gonna fucking happen. It looks like we're gonna get a remake of the last one, full on remake. They're gonna try to. It looks like they're gonna surprise everyone, and it's gonna drop before the end of the year. I don't have big ties to
I feel
Last
like
of
it's
Us.
so unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
it was a
see.
PS3 game, right? Which is crazy to say, but it still looked so good.
It looks all right. I was gonna play the remaster the other day, and it looks like a PS3 game.
Really? Maybe my memory is just because it was so
Go-
good for
it doesn't
PS3.
Look, it doesn't look bad, but like right now, go look up some Last of Us remastered, and like it doesn't look bad at all. But look at that, and then look at it next to Last of Us 2, and you're like, oof, you can
Yeah.
tell that game came out in 2013. You know what I mean? Or 2013, 2014, maybe.
I'm looking. Sorry,
so-
I'm gonna watch some stuff
Yeah.
while we're.
So it's not bad, but it's not. You can kind of, I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely have to get through those games. I'm just not sure if I don't know if I should wait for the remake. I'm probably gonna want to play the original and the remake. So, that's that. Next news.
I don't know, man. This
On-
remaster looks pretty good. That's what I'm
looks
saying.
pretty
It's
good? Okay, maybe
it's not-
maybe my eyes were wrong.
no. It's not like it's it's not the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but it looks good. Like it could be. It's a PS4 remaster, so it's a PS4 game. I'm sure the PS3 version doesn't look as good, but I mean, this looks pretty good. It's still, it might be, the only thing I can see is like maybe the movement's a little less fluid than you get in, like more modern games,
Yeah.
but it's just, it reminds me a lot of God of War. Like those games are more of a story, but less than like, they're more game than like a Telltale game, right? Because there are engaging game moments, a lot of them, but you're there more for like a fucking story. Like Last of
Yeah.
Us made me cry. It fucking
Oh, of
broke
course,
my heart. Yeah.
Aw,
Last of Us 2 did not.
you're so sensitive.
I
No,
am-
dude. The Last of
I'm
Us
joking.
1. No, I'm just saying. The Last of Us 1. No spoilers. Starts off so emotionally devastating.
Yes.
Everyone cries at the first fucking.
And even
hour
the
of that
ending,
game.
which I loved that. I mean, spoilers for a PS3 game. I love that Joel didn't die. Right, like you definitely played the whole game going like, "Fuck, he's gonna die," and I'm gonna be just really sad. Like,
Yeah.
and then he didn't. But it's still gut wrenching. Like the end of the game, like what
Yeah.
decision he has to make. You're like, "Fuck."
It's brutal, dude.
And not only does he have to make the decision, they make you go through what he has to do after the decision, which is fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's that series is just like they just wanted to it's just heart-wrenching, terrible, feel bad stuff. But it's really well done at least. But we'll see what the remake thing's going to like. I believe the rumor. I believe it's going to happen though, cuz it's coming towards the end of the year. Like they're going to spring some surprises. Also, I didn't look up the date or anything, but I'm pretty sure in like about 2 weeks or something in the middle of June, we're getting the Summer Games Fest. That's going to be a big Jeff Keighley games conference thing. We're getting like 2 or 3 big game conferences this month. We got the big Xbox one. We got this big Summer Games Fest. There's like another one.
Well,
there's
there's so there's the Bethesda one,
Mm-hmm.
the Game Fest thing you're talking about, and then I thought I've been seeing stuff about a
It's another
Square
one.
Enix one.
So apparently we're gonna get some Final Fantasy news.
Yeah,
Don't know
they have
what.
a surprise one coming or something.
Yeah, apparently that's another like news thing, and there's no real news. Is basically like in about a week or something or soon, we're about to get like some big Final Fantasy news, but we don't know what it is though. It could literally be like, because there's Final Fantasy 16 they can talk about. Are they going to talk about Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2? Fuck, I doubt it. I don't believe it. I don't believe in my life. I don't even believe that game.
I think we do get that.
That's what I hope, because I mean, all they're doing is building on the same engine. Just you don't have to rebuild a new game, guys. Just continue to tell the story. let us take us to Golden Saucer and shit. Like, come on.
Right.
So yeah.
I don't know, man. I just I beat it and it was alright, but I know I played it wrong. Like, I definitely admit that I just was trying to play it more like a Souls game, like an action RPG, and the game has a very specific way you're supposed to play it, and that's its own thing. But in the end, I still was pretty disappointed in it because it's like they called it the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's a remake of literally the first 10 hours of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
how are you going to call it the remake, not chapter 1, not, part 1 of whatever? What are they going to call the next one? Final Fantasy VII Remake 2, the sequel that you didn't, that was not an actual sequel.
That you didn't expect to happen when you thought they were making Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It annoys me because I'm like, had they just kept it a turn-based game, up-resed all the graphics, redid the graphics, obviously, made it look beautiful, it probably could have been done fully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The script is done, Just remake the game. Why? They added so much shit, and you're just like, it became Kingdom Hearts in weird ways, which really annoyed me. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see what that could be. I mean, it could be anything. Like, this company just recently did, official Final Fantasy merchandise. And it was just fucking shirts, graphic tees with a different print on the each. Well, I don't know. Maybe the quality was nice, but I don't know. It could be anything.
Final Fantasy 16 is going to be on that PS Plus thing?
No. They're not doing. They're not doing day and date stuff.
So if you buy something on your PS Plus, does that mean it's available on the PC version?
I don't think so. I think it's like certain.
Damn.
I think it's certain games. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not like Xbox where everything is available.
Yeah.
For PC as well. It's different. That's why we got to look up the specifics and see how it is. I'm pretty sure it's probably a specific collection of games, but I do know that they're working on expanding that because PC is growing and stuff like that and blah blah blah. So I'm sure it will get more accessible, and we'll get you playing some PlayStation shit soon. But let's see.
Right now.
Exactly. So next on a roll with what they keep doing, the Saudi Royal Wealth Fund has purchased 5% of Nintendo, which is fine. It's whatever, it's just this guy is really out there just putting his fingers into everything.
It's the same guy?
It's the same guy.
God damn.
He's just trying to he just likes video games, I guess.
I mean, if you had the money and you were going to invest in something, wouldn't you invest in something you love?
Yeah.
What if he actually loves video games a lot and just wants to invest in that?
I mean, yeah, but it's just we're not going to get into it fully, but it's just where the money's coming from. It's who it's coming from. We live in different, there's different places in the world, and different places in the world are different.
Yeah.
Where he's from,
make your money.
Where he's from, they just had a public execution day, I don't know, a few months ago, where they beheaded 130 something people in a day.
Jesus.
That's publicly in the streets for celebration. That's it's I think it's okay saying.
Doesn't mean they don't like video games, though.
Yeah, dude. What?
No, I know. I'm just saying.
We murder people all the time in the U.S.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, we drone strike people all the fucking time. If you're going to
sit here and try to say and do that fucking Zoomer shit to be like, yeah, but we're also bad too, it does not correlate the same way.
It does. Drone strikes are equally as bad, if not fucking worse. At least if you're beheading someone, you have to fucking have someone. Dude, we drone strike civilians. That's hundreds of people in one attack. Not, we beheaded 100 people.
I'm not saying
I'm
that
not
America
saying
is
either
without
is
fault.
necessarily
saying
better
America's
than the other. Murder's
I'm not-
fucking murder.
I'm not saying America's without fault. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that congratulations to the Saudi Wealth Fund for purchasing 5% of Nintendo stock.
Did the Saudi, but like also, I mean, again, I just don't know how much that correlates because if is the Saudi Wealth Fund part of the beheadings and like how much? And I
It's
asked
literally
this.
the royal fam. It's the dude. It's not like here where we have like the government, the president. That's like monarchy shit. That's like royal family shit. It's like the Queen of England is the Queen of England. It's like it's not like America where it's like the Democratic Party, the selection of, even though we don't selection politics or politics. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not bad. I think then I guess it's all
I mean,
good.
we have a larger group of people killing people versus like a small family.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, look at
yeah.
our. I don't know that we are more civilized in some ways and less in others. Like I feel like human beings are just shit. Like we're just trash across the fucking board.
People equal shit, man.
Yeah.
I
I know you disagree because you're proud to be an American, where at
didn't
least
say that
I
at
know
all.
I'm
Not
free.
at all, dude. But anyways,
And
I
the
am
way
all about
we do
America. I do
our
think we
murders
have-
is with DRONEs. That's a good one. Sorry, I had to finish that. That was good.
sure. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I'll just say that. I'm not like super
Right.
pride American, but I'm super happy to be here.
There's a
I
couple
come
places
from-
I could live that I don't think would be worse or better. I could live in Canada. There's places in
I was
Canada.
gonna say other like white countries like
No.
Canada or Europe.
I mean,
Like you don't want to go to where I come from. Like I don't want to go back to Dominican Republic. Sure, there's some nice places by the beach near the resorts.
first of all, America's not a white country. That's a shit thing
No,
to
I
say.
said.
You said
No,
other white countries.
You
That's-
said other white countries.
All right. That's it. But I meant to say whiter countries. Like when people are like,
Sweden?
yeah, like it's like when people say like America's not the best country to live in. Yeah, I took that out of context. They're like, there's way better places to live than America, and people are like what? Sweden, Norway, Finland. It's like, oh, yeah, like
No, but I mean, you could live in the fucking UK. I'd live in the UK. Sure, it's a monarchy
Yeah.
with white
I don't
people
know.
at
It
the
depends.
top
There's
of it,
some
but
parts that are train spotty.
nah, come on, bro.
But yeah, I'm not trying to proud to be an American here. I'm not doing that at all. But anyways, Witcher 3 is going to get Q4, so around the same time as Last of Us Remake, end of the year. So we thought last time Witcher 3 is never going to come out. It looks like we're going to get it this year. They're aiming for Q4, so I'm stoked. I'm super happy I didn't install it and try to play it right away. So hope.
I'm still not confident, but
Not confident
we'll
it's
see.
going to come out or that it's going to
Yeah.
actually be any
that's
different.
that's gonna come out.
And I don't know how much they're gonna do to it. You know what I mean? What's gonna change in the end? It might run at 60, which will
That's probably what it's going to be. It's going to run at 60. Be a
Well,
little
they
smoother.
were supposed to have DLC with it.
Oh,
but
that's true. They're going to drop the Superman DLC.
yeah.
His name
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Cavill.
Henry Cavill. I think they're going to. They have to put a skin in there for him.
Mm-hmm.
Be pretty nice.
And it's like
I
they're
won't
taking
use
this
it,
long
but-
to put a skin in.
I mean, he's a big dude. That's a lot of skin.
I saw a thing about of him and Tom Cruise like during Mission Impossible like PR stuff, and Tom
Mhm.
Cruise made him reload his arms in front of everybody because in that trailer like he
Yeah.
like pulls his arms out,
Cocks his arms.
which it's more he's wearing a long sleeve shirt, so he's stretching,
Yeah.
like getting his wrist past that.
Getting
but
his
it's
cuffs
still
down.
dope
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
shit,
it was
dude.
just funny.
It looks cool though.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah,
And he's got the
Um,
mustache. So good. I love that movie.
Um,
I thought it was great.
I still haven't seen it. I haven't watched anything after Mission Impossible 2.
Really? They
Yeah.
they got like really good from like
They get
4,
crazy.
5, 6, 7. Like
Yeah.
they
I
got
haven't
good.
seen. It's up to 7.
I think 7's coming.
Yeah, there's
They
a,
just
a
actually had a trailer
two-parter.
for like part 1 of number 7. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay. I saw like 1, 2,
It's
and
good.
maybe 3.
Yeah, so 1 was really good.
Oh yeah,
Two
of course.
2 and 3 were
1994.
3. 2 was the
95.
Limp Bizkit one.
Wait, did you say Limp Bizkit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they like did the title track.
Oh God.
And
Oh,
then,
they did.
yeah, and then 3 was I can't remember 3, but yeah, they got a like the one can like
3 was the one with the
consecutive story
motorcycles,
and
right?
stuff.
3 was
No,
the one with the
2
motorcycle
was
stunt.
motorcycles
Oh, that was 2.
on the beach. Yeah.
It was like a seaside road.
Yeah, it was like an island, and they end up fighting out in the little sandy.
Yeah, it was a crazy stunt. It was like 2 motorcycles, and
Yeah.
they jump off the motorcycles and like clash in the air.
Yeah, it just the stories have stayed more like tied together with like 4, 5, 6, and there's just like characters that have like continually come back and stuff, and it's just kind of all tied together really well now.
Yeah.
And the stunts have gotten crazier, and like Fallout was just really good. Henry Cavill was awesome in it, and yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
Sick.
I didn't even dislike what I watched. It was one of those things like I haven't watched most of the Bond movies. Like I just I'm like,
They
can't
start to
really-
blend into each other
Yeah.
after a while.
And I don't really
Uh,
love Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Top Gun 2, baby, let's go!
I literally couldn't care less. Like
so stoked.
it's what
I
are you stoked
cannot
about?
wait.
It's just airplanes. We've seen 1,000 airplane movies.
I love it, dude. I don't even care.
But
I
what
still watch Days of Thunder randomly. You don't
Okay.
even know what that is.
I know what
It's
Days
the
of Thunder is.
NASCAR movie.
There's a
dude.
photo of
and
me.
I'm not even into NASCAR, but I still watch that shit because I don't know why, but that
you're-
movie is good to
you're
me.
Red-blooded American, dog.
Maybe it has to do with like my
Has to
grandpa
do
being
with
that shit.
just yeah.
I just don't like what Top Gun isn't an amazing movie. It's just
no,
like
no, 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 no.
homoerotic
I just think
military fantasy.
I'm still just excited for this one. I think it's gonna have like Tom Cruise is like next level crazy now, and his stunts are like really him. And he wants more crazy shit in the movies. And I've seen reviews saying that it like is far superior to the first movie, which makes me think it's gonna just be great.
Okay.
Listen, it might be awesome. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't get people being so hype about it because I'm like, it's just
I'm hyped.
It's a movie about airplanes.
I know, and I dig it, dude.
I'm
Like, why not?
I'm
And I'd ride with Tom Cruise, baby, not his real world shit, but as an actor, I like his shit, dude. He's good. It's entertaining. It's
I'm-
better than watching Fast and Furious.
I'm
All that
intrigued.
Yeah, no, but-
shit.
They're about the same quality level.
No, I would
Tom
say
Cruise
no.
is
I would say
actually
Tom
like
Cruise movies
quality
are-
version.
Tom
of-
Cruise movies are quality ass action films.
Yes.
It's just that it's not for you, dude. You're not into it. You also you're
Did you watch
a
Live Die
specific
Repeat?
kind of
Yes,
guy.
I loved it, but I liked Emily
Right.
Blunt in it. He was all right. I just feel like Tom Cruise is massively overrated.
He probably is, but I mean,
It's
his
cool that he
movies are
does his
quality.
own stunts. Like
He-
that is cool, and maybe one day we'll get to watch him get fucking sucked
He
into a
is
helicopter
in a
blade.
niche, and he does it well, dude.
He's
Just
also
watch.
it's hard.
You need to
to
start watching the Mission Impossible movies.
It's
He's not
hard to
gonna do it.
remove the art from the artist with him because he's a fucking psycho, and I struggle.
Yeah, watch Fallout. Just watch Mission Impossible Fallout. You don't have to watch the other ones. Just watch that one.
Okay.
I was so sick of the trailer
so-
for that movie too. By the way, by the time it was out, I was like, "Fuck me! If I don't ever have to see this fucking trailer again, it'll be too soon."
Yeah, they did way over advertise that movie.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And
it
I
was
mean,
bad.
I am intrigued for the new Top Gun just to see
Yeah.
how in today's age of kind of super ADHD gotcha attention shit, like what are they going to do to make people get through this movie? Because like nowadays, not to be like nowadays, but really nowadays everything is so kind of stupid because the population's the masses are always dumb. But for real, man, we do kind of live in a really, really dumbed down system now, society.
Chessy. You're in America, son.
That's
All
what I'm
we
saying,
need is
dog.
flaming, exploding jets.
That's what I'm saying. Is
And raw sexual
I'm
tension
intrigued.
between men and aviators, and we are set.
No, because all I'm thinking is, how are they going to? I'm intrigued to see cool dogfight stuff and how they make it cool, because there's not a lot of movies like fucking A Few Good Men coming out anymore. But I guess they are. They're just like they're all like they just don't get a lot of advertisement. There's not a lot of dramas and shit, but I guess there are. They just go.
I'm
straight
excited to see what they can do now that we have like better technology and like
It's gonna look sick.
a higher budget than the original. Like we could actually get some cool jet flying shit, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Who knows?
dope CGI jets, and then he did fly a jet.
Yes,
Anyways,
he did.
so a couple more video game news, and then we have some PlayStation news.
God, I wish I lived by you guys. I would drag Aaron to that movie.
Top Gun's the first movie I ever saw in the theater as a child.
I would tie him up and be like, "Yeah, I need 2 tickets to Top Gun 2." I'd have to gag him because I know he wouldn't be able to stop, talking shit. But
I don't really talk
Would be
during
worth
movies.
it.
I laugh a lot though.
Yeah.
yeah, but this I'd be literally like forcing you to see.
I laughed so hard during Man of Steel that it ruined it for my other friend Ian. He hated me and my buddy Ruby because we were laughing at how bad it was the whole fucking time, and he was like, "You guys ruined it for me." And I'm like, "Yeah, we ruined a bad movie. You're fucking welcome." Like, it couldn't get worse than that movie. And
Which
then
movie again?
Man of Steel, and
Man
then
of
fucking
Steel.
Dawn of
It
Justice
wasn't
came
that
out.
bad.
Nah, I liked it.
It
But
was-
I like the dark shit, so it is what it is.
It was so dumb. Like, there's so much in that movie that's just dumb.
So a couple more little stories here. Vin Diesel shares a storyboard photo from his new Riddick movie. I just put that there because I forgot that Riddick was a thing. So
It's an animated movie, though, isn't it?
no, I doubt it.
I
He's
don't
gonna
There
think
make
are
so.
animated ones.
No, they're just doing an actual sequel.
They're
Are you
making
sure?
like
Did you look at the pictures?
the picture. That's a storyboard photo.
I know, but
He-
it looks like the art from the animated movies they've made too.
That's another one I never got. Riddick, fucking Pitch Black was stupid, and then Chronicles of Riddick was like weird, but
God, Pitch Black wasn't so bad. It was a cool sci-fi movie, but Chronicles of Riddick
Riddick
was
weird.
so fucking bizarre.
you know what was funny is years and years later, then we got that Wachowski sisters movie with Mila Kunis and the other guy, Jupiter Ascending, and it was almost like it was the same movie, like graphically. I was like, "Is this the same movie? Is this the same world? Are we gonna see Riddick?"
I remember
show up?
trying to watch Chronicles of Riddick, and it was just I just didn't know what was going on. It's so bad.
Is it? Yeah, it was bad. Was Eddie Redmayne in that, or was that
I
the
don't know,
Mila
I guess.
Kunis one?
Oh shit, I don't know. It's
I
been
don't
so
know, but
long.
Mila Kunis is fine though. Mila
She's
Kunis is
coming
hella
back.
Fine.
Yeah, she is.
Ooh.
For the what's it called?
For what?
That 90s show, I think.
Oh, they're
Oh.
doing like a sequel to the '70s show again, but the whole
Yeah.
cast is coming back, I guess.
And
And
they're
I don't know
paying
if they're coming
now?
back for cameos, or whatever. But
Anyways. I was gonna try to find a buttery creamy joke, but it just isn't gonna work. So Norman Reedus leaks that there's a Death Stranding 2. Apparently somebody was speaking to him and he was talking and he was like, "Oh yeah, we just finished or we just started working on Death Stranding 2 or something like that." And they're like, "What?" He's like, yeah, we're working on Death Stranding 2 right now. I'm actually in the middle of working on it. So there is a Death Stranding 2. I mean, whatever. I bought it. It's a big deal to a lot of people.
But
Seth thought it was
walking the
good.
game too.
I like that. I mean, I need to go back. I like the walking and the traversal. What got me was the UI was complicated. And
it's in the same camp for me as Top Gun 2.
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
don't know, man.
cool,
Come on, bro.
cool,
I want to
cool.
try it. One day I'll do it, but it's just
It looks
it
so
was-
dumb to me. I have never heard a concept of a game that sounded that boring.
I like it.
Yeah, you're not interested in walking fetuses around.
Yeah, just
No, man,
delivering
it's not that bad.
packages.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, you just
you
walk.
haven't even
Really
played
good.
it.
Make sure you
Yeah, dude, I
balance.
played like 15, 20 hours of that shit.
Make sure you
So you
balance.
didn't play it.
Watch out! It's your favorite part of every video game. The part where you have to tilt your controller to balance your body on a fucking thing. Yeah, everybody loves that. It's favorite part of the game. Let's develop
It's
a whole
not that
fucking game around that.
simple. It's not that simple. But
Is that like when you're walking on like a hill? Do you have to like keep yourself balanced?
yeah, with the shoulder buttons.
Oh my god!
You can. I mean, sure, but you haven't tried it. It's.
I know. It's just
it's-
I didn't real. I was making a joke that it was walking the game, and that
It is.
maybe I just didn't. I really didn't imagine you actually had to like keep your guy from like accidentally tripping or something.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
So
The
it really
terrain.
is walking the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought people were
With
just
a
like being
fucking-
over dramatic.
With
No,
the
you're
Kojima
like you're a
story.
courier. So like you have to like take packages across vast distances.
But it's Norman Reedus. Why does he get on his motorcycle with his crossbow and just ride into
You get, yeah, you get a motorcycle.
Of
Oh,
course you did.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yes. It's not that, it's really not that bad of a game. I like the traversal and stuff. It's not literally just walking. Like the terrain is the terrain is varied, and you have to use different aspects of the game to get across it, and that's what it is. And also there's like enemies and
There is like
Stealth
weird combat where you
mechanics.
throw piss and shit at enemies too. That's cool.
yeah. So there's a bunch of
I just
Yeah,
also don't get hype for Kojima. Like I don't get the Kojima hype either. I'm just like
yeah. He's just a weird like what do they call it? What do they
He's a fucking
call that?
edgelord.
Auteur or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just a weird avant-garde guy. So there's that. Norman Reedus, blah blah blah. So a couple of PlayStation things. PS Plus Classics, which I said I hoped last time. So like the PS1 games, they will be adding trophies to those, so that's pretty cool. Gives us some incentive to play them. But I mean, you're not going to get me playing Siphon Filter again. Actually, I probably will play Siphon Filter 1 to try it again.
I like Siphon Filter.
Yeah, me too. I like in the first one you could tase somebody so much and they burst into flames. You know that's gonna be a trophy. Tase somebody till they
Oh,
burst into
100%.
flames. I just remember like shimmying while hanging over the T-Rex bones. Like I remember that. I meant to say this last week, but they didn't. But I didn't. PlayStation released like a dictionary of gaming terms for like the common public to like it's weird. It's nothing really funny or memeable about it. It's actually a pretty good list, but it's like, you know, like AOE, FOV, HUD. They just put out this fucking ultimate gaming glossary
Dungeon.
for no reason. Yeah. It's pretty neat, dude. They just put this
Easter
thing-
egg. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be funny to you because you know these terms, but it's
Yeah, I know.
kind of a gaming glossary for common people. We did get the PS Plus full starting list, which did end up being a lot more pretty cool games on, like Bloodstained, Curse of the Night is there. The more I look at this list, it's definitely not for the hardcore fans because hardcore gamers already kind of have everything they want. But this is looking to be something really great for
I'm
either
sorry.
people.
I clicked the link and Norman Reedus with his squinty ass eyes has a floating fetus in between his hands as soon as you go to the PlayStation Plus page.
Yeah, because Death
It just
Stranding is
cracked me up.
amazing.
I know. He's so smoldering all
Oh.
the time.
But yeah, we've got some pretty good games in there. Like I said, they added it has what's the game I just said? Blood Ritual of the
Blood,
Night, Bloodstained. Bloodstained, which is a pretty cool game. Obviously we already have that. I did notice like Battle Chasers Night War, Battle Wonderland. There's a lot of cool little games there. I saw Call of Cthulhu and stuff. But either way, it's just for, you know, I'm gonna get it anyway because I'm a Sony guy. But there did seem to be some cool games in there, and they will be adding to them monthly. So with Insomniac, PlayStation ended up, I guess this was in the news last week after we talked about his weird little email he sent out, Jim Ryan. But PlayStation did double down and actually donate or match $50,000 or some shit like that, to donate to a pro-choice thing. So it looks like they weren't being complete pieces of shit. But then again, $50,000 is nothing. It could have been a PR move, but they did go ahead and donate. Them and Insomniac did go ahead and donate to some causes, which is pretty nice. And then last piece of news is Activision's weird diversity tool that they had to like walk back. So Activision started like bragging about this weird diversity tool that like King and them had made. And apparently what they had done is, I'm sure it is done with good intentions, because I guess, you want to get far away from like white males and stuff like that in games, because they're everywhere. So what they did is they made a tool to quantify and give a numeric value to different races, genders, and orientations, and just kind of like descriptors. And I think a couple of people started noticing that this may not be as cool and as you're thinking it is when you're making that, because basically it's like, all right, so like white gets 0 points and Hispanic is more valuable than white, but not as valuable as black, but those are more valuable than Asian. Like, they were making a tool where they would quantify, basically, they would literally put a numerical value on the descriptors of a character to make it more diverse. And they had this whole this whole like presentation and stuff. And apparently Activision had to go and make sure to pull all the photos they had for these descriptors down, because apparently it was like, I guess while trying to describe these diverse or whatever, or maybe describing the previous racist or bad things, their selections were bad, so they had to remove all photos and stuff. But I did hear about like this one part of the presentation they're giving where they're talking about like harmful stereotypes in gaming, and they bring up a harmful stereotype. And the harmful stereotype they bring up is the harmful stereotype of the angry black man, right? So what they do is, at this presentation, they showed 3 photos of video game characters on the screen. If you can take a guess, one of them's Barrett, one of them's Cole from Gears, and one of them is Jax from Mortal Kombat. And like, some people are wondering like, hey man, it's Jax from MKX. Jax has never been angry though. And especially in MKX, he's retired, he's chilling, and he lives on a farm, and he mourns his wife. So it seemed like kind of tone deaf for them to just pick a character of a certain race and then be like, yeah, this harmful stereotype of this angry black man. And it's like, that doesn't describe Jax at all. And even like, if you break down Barrett is kind of crazy, but Barrett's more like Barrett
Well,
is
he has
kind of
become
crazy.
a terrorist in some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Barrett, yeah, the Japanese aren't very good at, Barrett is straight up, yeah. But like, and you can see how like the Japanese have kind of sometimes skewed representations of Western characters, kind of because they just have less. I don't know, man. They're over there doing their thing. But like NetherRealm or Midway, they know how to handle like American characters. That's why they actually wrote Jax as a pretty well-rounded character. But yeah, it was just a strange tool that was done, and I get it. You want to get away from the kind of the generic. You want to get away from like the Duke Nukems, like the American male, straight, blonde, fit, like that, and you do want to, but actually on the list, actually what the most diverse was, which was because it was like, there's male, which is not as valuable as female, which is not as valuable as trans, But the most diverse and highest point value was robot. So like the most diverse character eventually would have been like a foreign robot of some sort. But
Weird.
I don't know. I mean,
It's just a strange. It's a strange thing to do.
it's pretty strange.
I'm all
and-
for diversity and for representation. I'm the target market for that because I'm a fucking beta cuck lefty, but like I'm here for it because I think the world of games should represent the world we live in some way, right? Like
Yeah.
I like the idea of everybody having a character they can look up to in some form or fashion. And I'm not saying straight white men shouldn't have characters anymore. Just I think there's room for everybody. You know what I mean? I think there's room for games to be focused on every single type of person, including and up to trans robots that are, I don't know, from another country. I don't, whatever, the ethnicity.
fat trans robot with a disability. Like,
Yeah, if it's a good story, if there's a good story written around it and it ties it all together in a way, then why not, right? It
Yeah.
does seem like sometimes things are done just to do it, right? And that's because corporations are still just trying to make money, and there's never going to be reality in that. There's never going to be truth to what they're
Yeah.
trying to do. There's not going to be, what's the word I'm looking, authenticity to that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, it's like in Pride Month when every company has a rainbow logo,
Yeah.
and at the end of the month, the rainbow logo gets chucked out.
Bye.
But yeah, so it's definitely not even talking about the like we all know that we want diversity and
Yeah. I'm just saying
representation stuff.
it's a weird
It's
thing
the fact
to do.
that they
Yeah.
have made this weird ass tool where it's like, hey man, do you
It's-
realize that you are
It's the opposite.
quantifying,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
are adding numeric values to
All you'd have to do-
races and genders and orientations.
All you'd
And,
have
like-
to do to cancel that entire company is switch the numbers, and all of a sudden it's horrible, right?
Yeah.
If you were like 1,000 points to white straight male, everyone would be like, "What the fuck?" But they think it's okay because it's it's shifting that around.
Yeah,
and it's
but it
still
would be
weird.
like-
It's still a fucking weird thing to do.
Yeah, it'd be like, like white is 0 points, right? And then like how I was saying before, like Hispanic is minority, but like not as minority as black is.
Yes,
But like Asian is Asians, and it's like, but where are you getting like? That's where it becomes like a problem. Like, why is this minority worth more or less than that minority? And then like even with like part of it was like money, like middle class was actually the lowest value. Like either rich or poor would be more diverse than average wealth or whatever. And then like it wasn't even, it was like weight. And I heard William Pat kind of like made a joke like, wouldn't 2B be super high value from Nier Automata because she's a robot and she weighs 400 pounds. And like she's like has the fucking blindfolds where she's blind because they wear blindfolds, but because she's an android's 400-pound android. But yeah, it's just a weird thing, and they had to kind of walk it back. Yeah, it's just a weird it's a weird thing. I don't think it didn't get enough coverage because I thought it was a pretty funny thing. But yeah, Activision Blizzard.
It's a very
Um,
tone deaf thing, and it's also counter to exactly what they think they're doing, right?
But yeah, exactly. And I believe one of the companies in there, I forgot, Ravensoft or some shit. I don't know. Somebody did recently actually get their
It's Ravensoft,
unionization. Yeah, they got their reunionization actually passed, which is crazy, man. I figured they were just gonna fire them all for trying to do that.
Yeah.
I still don't trust it. I still don't believe. It's like, okay, fine. Like, oh, you guys think you're slick? You're gonna pull that shit on us? Fine, go ahead, make your union. But I mean, I guess maybe not, because once you have a union, that's it. I don't know. I don't know enough about unionization and companies like that to know how I'd feel about it. But I just figure you're just pissing them off, and it's gonna make it harder in the long run. It's creating a harder place to work. But then again, you're trying to. I don't know. At that point, I would just say go work for somebody else. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Any hoodles.
Sorry, I put the mic down. I was typing.
There was one more news story that came out
anything
today.
you guys got?
So it has been reported now that the Marvel games were actually made an offer to Microsoft first, and they turned them down because they wanted to focus on their own IPs. And then they went to Sony after that. So we could have had exclusive Spider-Man games and Wolverine and whatnot on Microsoft, and that would have been awesome. But who knows what they would have actually been. So, I mean, I'm glad the games that were made came out because from what I've heard, they're great. And, you know, if they went to Microsoft, like I said, who knows what we would have got. It could have been great too, but I don't know that it matters at this point, but it's just interesting that they turned that IP down. Could have been a big one.
That's pretty funny though.
I know. I'm kind of bummed.
Yeah, that's a big kick in the pants.
Yeah, that sucks.
A really
Damn it,
big kick in the
Microsoft.
cunt.
Like that would have been a huge exclusive for them to get.
Yeah. All right, so we do have
And
some
then
questions. Oh,
last is She-Hulk.
oh,
I mean, just a trailer. What did we think? I mean, you say the CGI looks really bad. I think it looks fine. I don't see how it's so bad.
did you watch it in HD on your computer?
No, I mean,
Um,
I don't know what you're expecting from it. It's a TV. I don't know.
Literal same
looks
quality
like a
as
TV.
any other Marvel property. That's it. Just the same quality.
But I think about it this way: she's gonna have to be hulked out a lot the whole time. Then again, there was a lot of Moon Knight going on.
Yeah, and his suit looked fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
So
funny.
I was hyped for the show. I watched the trailer. It looks like kissy huggy family fun, and the
Yeah.
CG looked like shit, and I'm just not even sold on it. Moon Knight just completely shit in my face. I'm not into it. I'm not interested. The only thing I'm interested in is the potential of Matt Murdock showing up, which I hear is already rumored that he's
Of
going to be in like
course.
episode 8 and 9. So that's what I want. At this point, I'm going to watch it because I have to watch all the Marvel stuff. But the trailer just looks boring. It looks like cookie cutter Marvel bullshit. Like
So-
I need
It doesn't look like
different.
Marvel to me. It looks like sitcom-y. Like
yeah, it's family fun, which is what Marvel movies have been for years. You know what I mean? Like Doctor Strange 2, as much as I was not the biggest fan, I will say that it advanced in, giving us us adults a little more flavor. Thank you, Sam Raimi, on that part of it. Not all the flavor was great, but the horror shit was great. And
Okay.
Moon Knight, I thought was gonna be like this door opening, like, all right, we're gonna get some really good new shit, and instead we got a turd.
I just
blowing
watched
in
it
the
again,
wind.
and if it's only if you look at her face when she's talking in the scene where she's about to go home with the guy, it looks okay. So that you can tell is more finalized graphical work. It's in it's in all the movement scenes. It just looks floaty. It doesn't look attached to her body.
Right.
It just doesn't.
I
look
noticed
normal.
that in the Obi-Wan trailer too. I'm scared for the CGI.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
There's a scene where he's like walking through the desert on like a Star Wars whatever camel, and you can literally tell that he's floating in just nothingness. It's just
gonna watch
super
it.
noticeable. I don't know.
Was it a day ago or 3 weeks ago? Because I haven't. Seen
It was the like last trailer we got, that like the second one.
it says number 3. I see.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm excited for it because I always liked She-Hulk as a kid. My buddy reminded me, like, bro, we've been waiting for this since we were in 5th grade.
You're right.
Because him and I were big fans of She-Hulk. So just because it's like kind of a cool idea of like, what if like this person didn't necessarily do superhero stuff. You know, like I mean, she
Right.
does, but it's like she's an attorney. You know, whatever. I don't know. I just was like scared because that CG looks insane. But I don't know. we will see.
I'll be open for it. I just don't think this trailer did anything positive for me at all.
It does look like Kick-Ass is in it in some way. Yeah. There's a guy that's just like you see in a costume that just looks like Kick-Ass. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna watch it. I will say, like, the further away I get from Moon Knight, it was kind of like a why did this exist?
Yeah.
It's completely inconsequential.
It didn't connect to anything at all.
In no way did. Yeah, it's just. But I liked it too. That's the thing, and it sucks because you're like, if Marvel wasn't so interconnected, you could actually be like, that was kind of a cool little thing, right? Like, if everything didn't have to be so like, this ties to this, and then over here there's this cameo, you know, whatever. It would actually be kind of cool to just have like Moon Knight be a thing that means nothing, you know?
Nah, I see. It wasn't the connectivity though for me. It was just the series completely. It was just I didn't care. I just did not care. And by the time they tried to like pull me in, I was already out.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really do much for me. I kind of had to drag myself through it just because there was some cool karate in it here.
Yeah.
And there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Like, it's not enough.
Very strange.
Left with nothing.
All right, speaking of leaving
That's
with
it.
nothing, let's fucking read these and get out of here.
Let me read this one from Instagram real quick. We got a DM from Luke Walsh. He says, "Hey nerds, you guys are my new favorite threesome. My ears haven't been this excited since the old Aaron, Keith, and Nate days.
Hey.
Nice.
The question is there a way to download the old nerd porn episodes? I've sussed out most podcast apps, including SoundCloud, and having no luck. If you could point me in the right direction, that would be greatly appreciated. Love your work. XO. Kisses and hugs."
I wonder if I could log into the old SoundCloud and reactivate it.
You probably have to pay for it.
Yeah, but
Here
you know what we
is
could
also an
do?
option.
We could get a Patreon just for that. Have one level that's like, give us $1, and if 10 people do it, we'll fucking pay the fucking SoundCloud for
That's
every
true.
month.
We could do that.
Or if they are still downloaded on the old one, I can make a playlist on YouTube and start transferring them over.
There's some of those
It'll take
episodes
time.
that are better left.
That's where
That's
I'm
the
at.
issue.
I think that there's a lot that's better left. There's kind of like I don't know, man. There's
some
I'm
great
fine.
stuff in
I'm
those
fine.
days.
There's great stuff. I'm fine, but then again, I have no filter and I'm okay with everything. But like,
Well, and you're sober,
long-
Jesse. Now there might be some of that shit that you don't even remember. Not to say that you'd carry
oh
the way,
no,
but
I trust me, I do because I listened to every episode I ever did.
oh yeah,
on the
you're right.
podcast.
Yeah, you would listen.
So
the
I
next
know
day.
what I sound like. I'm not saying like, oh no, I don't want people to hear drunk me. You can hear drunk me. Just scroll back, whatever 40 something episodes, and every episode I'm fucking hammered.
Mhm.
That's fine. It's not that, and it's not even that like, oh, I used to casually fucking say the N-word because I have like an N-pass because I can say that because your boy's Dominican, and that's just how I speak in my world. Back then I used to just use it like normally until I think it was Storm Rush or some shit was like, can you tell him to stop it? It's bothering me. And then we said, you know what? Fine, let's stop with that, whatever. But it's not even that. It's just like there's just I'm fine with it. I just know that there's some stuff that you may not want out there,
Yeah,
or
there's
even
some
man,
shit
if we
that
go
I'm
back
like,
real far,
I'm glad that that's gone.
there's a lot of man. There's just a lot of
I would like to
silly
get.
shit.
I would like to get some episodes with like some the Keegan episodes because if you didn't know, fans of the old days, Keegan, former guest, passed away earlier this year, and she was a really good friend of the show. She's someone I thought was really cool, and I actually cared about as a person. So it would be nice to like have those still.
Yeah.
But we can look into it. We have the passwords in the old.
I mean, we could look into it, dude, and Like
Even if
I
we
don't
don't,
mind.
like James is saying, even if it's not publishable anymore, we could just download them from there if they're still hosted there in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Actually,
I know you don't like editing and stuff a lot, but like I don't mind like doing shit like man, I'll go back through those old episodes and like find shit to cut out and we can make like a super and like make a couple super cuts of like stories. I remember like Jenny's dating stories was a really
holy
funny
shit,
funny sex segment.
dude! Real quick, I'm looking at holy fuck, our only episode on that's up right now is the last episode, and it has
200.
8,166 plays. Jesus Christ,
Damn.
that's
Yeah.
insane.
It's people looking up the word porn.
But the account is still
Finally,
there,
some
so
nerd porn. And
I-
they're like,
I remember that. It was you, me, Keith, and Nate.
mm-hmm.
We went to La Granja for lunch that day. We
uh,
recorded in the afternoon too. And I don't drink in the afternoon, so that was like my first time not drinking on an episode.
I'm gonna see if I can go in on another page and look. Fuck though, that's Kelsey's.
Oh, I'm on. I'll check.
Yeah, just go into SoundCloud. We have it in the Google Docs for all the passwords. It's the old one. All right, let's read these and then get the fuck out of here because it's getting late. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Listen, I've
Yeah.
not slept all weekend. I slept like 5 hours a night, and today I was
My
dragging
God,
ass.
what a bitch.
Yeah, okay, you're a big man with a beard and you touch AR-15s all day.
Yeah,
We
found
get it. You're a big ass dick.
8,166. 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, but check if you log in if we have more episodes in there.
Oh.
If not, I'm sure
Okay.
Keith has them on a hard drive somewhere. But Brian
Right.
Marshall wrote in and said, "My first question is, if this news were to be true, which of these games are you most looking forward to?" And the news being the rumor that Forspoken is going to be delayed again, and Square Enix is replacing it with Final Fantasy 16 this holiday.
16, obviously. Just get
yeah.
rid of Forspoken. Don't even
Forspoken
release that.
can literally kick rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No,
There's-
listen.
yeah.
The main character is a woman of color. I'm sorry. What?
Oh,
That's the
God.
thing that sucks too. Is like I feel bad because I'm just not interested in it, but I'm not interested in it because the fucking combat looks dumb. I'm like,
Oh no, that looks cool to me. The game looks cool to me. It's the blending the modern like, whoa, dude, I'm in the. It's that.
Yeah.
That's what's really annoying is that you can tell that somebody in a board meeting was like, we're really gonna touch the youth of today and get them like no. Just make a nerdy ass Tolkien ass game. Just make a nerdy fantasy game with fucking old wizards talking and use those dragons and those magic effects for that. Like, don't put a young hip character like, whoa, I'm in a teleporter. Wow, a dragon. Like, no. Unless they look like, anyways. But yeah, I don't like that idea. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong and maybe it will be cool, but I just don't think so. All of the narrative stuff they have shown has just been like really cringy and kind of like, I don't know, man. But the combat stuff looks cool. I highly doubt I'm going to spend full price on it day one, but if they put it on something for me to download, yeah. But I think the combat stuff looks cool. But then again, they also showed her like surfing, like kind of boogie boarding on a magic boogie board surf thing, which looks really cool, and it completely turned me off. I just realized, I just thought like, man, they're just trying to throw everything at it now. Like, well, what if
Yeah.
we give her a magic skateboard? It's like, you fucked it up.
Oh, so just so you guys know, there are. It's not a lot of episodes. There are. Oh no, there's Let me see.
Should be
I'm
200.
logged in, and there are. It goes on forever. So the problem is they don't exist because our upload limit is there. So all we'd have to do is reactivate, and we'd have every episode.
Oh God, I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, God. Oh man. Also, wouldn't you have to go get consent from all those people? No, I guess you wouldn't. They already did it.
No,
Oh man.
Oh,
that
because you're not
is
monetizing
pretty-
anything either, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Oh
I don't
my
know.
God. That would be
Maybe that's a Patreon thing. Maybe you gotta. You can get the backlog. You can get the backlog for. Oh.
I really feel like some of that shit would come back and I would lose my job. Just
That's
kidding. I
what I'm
would lose
saying,
my
man.
job.
Is there's a lot of shit like that. Like, dude, we're talking 2013, 2014. Like, those were wild days, bro.
Yeah, it seems like not long ago at all, but it's fucking almost 10 years
No,
ago, and the
it's
world
almost
is a
10 years ago.
completely different place, and I am a completely different person. And I say that I started in 2013, I was 30 years old, so I had a lot of growing still to do, even though I was an
Yeah.
old person who should have been better.
Spoilers: there's still a couple videos of nerd porn on Twitch.
Oh,
if
that's
you
fine.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are old like
yeah, live
like,
stream E3
There's
thing.
like you guys
E3
watching-
streams.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's like 50 people in there.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
some crazy times. Our old
Yeah.
co-host, like his life was a lot of party stuff. Like he really liked
Yeah.
having a lot of people over. We lived together, so it was like a lot of nights where I'd come out in my underwear and yell at everybody because I had to go to fucking work.
Yeah, that's what that whole time in our lives kind of was like tons of partying. Like during that time, like I ran a Street Fighter club out of my house, so I had like 25 to like 40 people in my little 1-bedroom house every Wednesday, and we all lived like near downtown. So that time was just nothing but constant parties
They
and
were the best
strangers in
days,
houses.
and we didn't even realize it because I was in a miserable relationship. You were in a miserable
Yeah.
relationship, and we let those things flavor
It
everything
was
else.
the best and the worst times.
Yeah, as they said in that book, it was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. All right.
It really was.
My second question is kind of for James. I saw him playing
What?
God of War on PC. Which other Sony games would you like to see come to PC so you can play them? Obviously, Bloodborne.
Easy. Spider-Man, Bloodborne, the new God of War, Final Fantasy 16, Demon's Souls, I guess. Trying
Yeah.
to think.
Most of the really good exclusives,
Yeah,
state exclusive, right?
I mean,
Miles
no,
Morales.
you have the ability to play. Yeah, I mean, you have the ability to play Horizon Zero Dawn, which is really good.
I didn't mention it.
Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy
did
VII
not-
remake
I don't
wasn't on
have an
Xbox.
interest. Which one?
Final Fantasy VII remake?
He said
Oh.
16.
And
No,
I
but I'm
said
saying
16.
remake.
Oh.
Wasn't
remake is on PC.
Ah,
Okay, only PC.
Yeah, it just came out
Huh.
on PC earlier this year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. Last one. He said, also, just wanted to say I watched X upon Aaron's suggestion, and I just have to say that movie is absolutely insane. Old people creep me the hell out. It's real crazy. It's coming to streaming soon, I think, or it's out on.
Oh, is it
streaming.
really?
Yeah.
Is
Nice.
it? I thought. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a-
I think the Northman is out
Already, yeah, it
digitally
is.
somewhere. Yeah.
Very cool.
Need to watch it again. I'm so excited. I love that movie.
Good friend of the show, longtime listener, longtime buddy of the show, Hyatt Sutton wrote in and said, "Hey y'all,
Hey.
I've been curious about checking out a game space outside of PlayStation. Any thoughts on Series X, Steam Deck, or a first-time gaming PC?" I would say
Mm,
To
personally,
get an Xbox.
if you're gonna do it, get a PC. But I mean, to
Mm,
get
If you gotta go full in though.
So I will say it all depends on budget. If you're trying to stay at a good budget, definitely get the Xbox and
For
get
sure,
Game
yeah.
Pass. It's the best deal. You get a lot of indie games, you get a lot of AAAs, you get just so much variety. If the budget is not a concern and you can put the money into a PC that's gonna last you a minute, definitely get the PC because now Game Pass is on there, so you can get that positive thing of Xbox and just the amount of games on Steam and stuff like the indie games you can buy and everything that becomes available. It's PC really has like opened up doors for me with that. But again, I will say I still end up playing on my Xbox quite a bit because it just runs. It
Yeah.
can run better than my PC can.
But
It
can
really
you play Bug Snacks on your Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah, I know.
coming to Xbox Game Pass.
No, it's out already. It's on Game Pass.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
yes.
That's another game that I'm like, why would anybody play this? But whatever. Yeah,
Hey,
I
that
agree
was
with you.
a
I think
PlayStation
that's
exclusive on the release of the PS5.
I know, and it was stupid. I agree with you. If budget's an issue, like if you're looking to stick to a closer budget to like a PlayStation, then yeah, I mean, get the Series X. Steam Deck's probably not worth it if you're not traveling. Like, it's not what it's like a streamlined PC that's not going to be strong enough, right?
Yeah.
So, but I don't have one. I don't have any experience with it. So that is my outside
Right.
view. You might want to do some, video review, look at some reviews and some more deep dives into that. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, if you can get 1080 out of casting that onto your television, then maybe Stream Deck isn't a bad option. But I mean, you're still going to be sitting at like lower frame rates than what you would get just buying a PC or
Yeah.
building a PC. Graphics cards are starting to become more available, but still really high in price, and you don't have to go crazy. Like,
well,
if-
you can get
I
them.
just built a PC for like 1,000 to 1,200, not counting the graphics card. So
I
mean, you're
almost
still
bought
looking at a.
almost bought a 3080 the other day because they're down to normal price. They're like $900,
Yeah.
and I say that they're like that's like it's nothing, but I mean they were going for $3,000.
Well, they
Yeah.
got a new gen coming out with.
Yeah.
They got a 3050 and then a 3090 Ti coming out. So.
Yeah, and then the 40 series is coming. I bet the price on 30s.
Oh, already?
Yeah. They always do
Shit.
this. It's like every couple years you get. It's like every 2 years you get a new gen and you feel like a fucking idiot.
I guess it does. The 30 series just never really had much of a
they didn't have a
much gen.
chance because you couldn't fucking get them.
right.
But if you can Hyatt and you can afford it, I'd spend the 15 to 1800 and get like a pre-built, PC somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. You can get like a 3070 or a 3080 even if you're in that 1800 range, and you'll be set for a while. And then you can slowly piece together like what I did. I bought that, and then recently I just rebuilt the whole thing with Keith. I bought a new case, new fans, and I've upgraded everything basically. It's all
Yeah.
brand new computer.
Couple tips on the PC part. Definitely pay attention to your monitor. Monitor matters a lot with a PC.
Yes, it does.
Big time matters what you're gonna get, and then also do not get integrated graphics card on the one you
Oh
buy.
God, no.
If you buy pre-built, do not get integrated graphics card because you will not be able to upgrade or update your PC in any way. Like, you're just gonna have to buy a new PC.
Yeah, buy like a pre-built computer from a gaming computer company. Even, Alienware, HP Omens, those are okay. And generally, you're going to pay a little more for an Alienware for no reason.
Right.
But I know
You can
that,
get a cheaper PC that can do everything that
Yeah.
can, for sure.
yeah. But a lot of the companies are fucking expensive. So just look around and read reviews. Do a lot of Better Business Bureau lookups and stuff. It's a bit of a fucking hassle, but PC gaming is a whole different world. So
What I did with mine is I went to PC Part Builder, and you can literally pick out parts, and it'll tell you if they're compatible with each other.
that's awesome.
And it will also tell you, or it'll give you links to where to buy them and the prices. So
That's
and you can
great.
literally order it all together. It's really awesome.
That's awesome because the last time I tried to upgrade, I bought a motherboard and a processor and like a bunch of shit, and none of it worked together because I thought
Oh,
I
no.
looked at the right chipsets and stuff, but there was like
Yeah.
sub chipsets in the chipset. It was like a PC 3278B versus PC
Yep.
3278BA or BC. So, and I'm like, why?
I
would
was
you-
so scared of that.
Yeah, it's so annoying, but that's awesome. I didn't know that PC part builder was there. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, Eric.
Or if you're like me and you don't do all that PC shit, just buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. Just buy a
well, he has a
definitely.
PlayStation. He's just
It's,
saying,
it's like already there, man. It's
Yeah.
there. It's gonna run properly, and you don't
Until
have to
it
worry
doesn't.
about shit.
until it doesn't, and then you can't.
I will
fucking get it.
say, if you're not worried about the 4K element, and again, the budget thing is there. Like, and accessibility, I would just get the Series X. Like if you have a PS5,
You mean the S?
yeah, the Series S. Like just get
Yeah.
it for a Game Pass machine, and that's
Yeah,
what
man.
honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one eventually just so I can play Halo and Gears and shit and not finish them. I'll probably finish the Halo games.
That's really what you're buying an Xbox for at this point is Game Pass. So
Yeah.
don't overspend.
All right. Eric Tyler says, this may have been answered before, but how did nerd porn /nerds come about? Like, what made you guys start the podcast? And then a second question, what is everyone's favorite era of gaming? For me, it was around 2009 to 2016. So I can quickly go through. So nerd porn started from, this is funny, a group that still exists on Facebook that only I'm in of this podcast right now called Nerd Central. And my old co-host Tony was just a dude on there I had met once. He was in the hospital at the time, and my ex-girlfriend and I brought him food because she was friends with him. And I met him then, and then he invited me to the group, and then he put on there, anyone want to do a podcast back in 2013? And I said, my podcast had just ended. I did a different one called Party Squad, and it was not about anything. It was just like a comedy show. Like me and my buddy would just shoot the shit and talk about whatever. But he moved, and we didn't have a mixer at the time, and it was just like I couldn't figure out how to do remote episodes, because it was a lot of work. So we had to stop. And so I was kind of sad. I had a mic, whatever, and I had just done, I think, like 12 or 13 episodes over like 4 or 5 months. And so he posted, anyone want to do a podcast? And I said, yes. And so then we recorded our first episode on fucking Christmas of 2013. And we barely knew each other. It's very awkward and weird. It's like a weird start-stop conversation. But from there, then I think Jesse was on maybe the second or third episode.
Yeah, so because I had just done a couple podcasts with my buddy Brian, former guest, who does the Mental Reps podcast, and I'd done a couple episodes with him, and I was getting into listening to podcasts, and I heard Tony's say, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast," and Tony and I were buddies at the time, and we lived near each other, and I was like, "Oh, let me come on your podcast, talk video games." I think it was because on like the first or second episode. And I've said this before, Aaron and Tony are talking about Final Fight for the Super Nintendo, but they keep calling it Double Dragon. And I was so mad. I'm like, they're getting this wrong. I'm like, I have to come on there because I know that. And I know me being Mr. I know everything. I'm like, oh, let me come on. So I come on, like, I think it was the second or third episode I guested. And then like 2 episodes later, I guessed it again. And then I guessed it again. And then it was like, oh, you want to just come and be on the show? And I was like, on the show. And then eventually off the show, Keith replaced me. Then Tony left. Then I came back. Then I was gone. Then Nate came on. Then Nate left. Then I came back. Then Keith left. And it's
been
that
you
way.
and me.
But yeah, Aaron and Tony started. And then I kept guesting in the beginning, and then I was pretty much just kind of like on most of the time, and then sometimes I wouldn't. But eventually, that's kind of how it was. Started off with Aaron and Tony, and then eventually Tony left. Keith came in,
and it really did just start as a random thing. It was just like, hey, does anyone want to do a podcast? And I had already done one and was just like, yeah. And then here I am 10 years fucking later almost.
Yeah, man, it was really a perfect time. And like it was like really the perfect time at the perfect location.
And God bless it because it gave me Jesse.
Yeah, man. Seriously, dude. God bless that fucking asshole because I met you, dude.
Yeah. We fucking one of my best friends. If not, you're probably my current best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, from that fucking asshole. I don't like that guy anymore. But it's okay. It's fine.
And yeah, it's funny. I met so many people through the podcast that are still my friends to this day. It's an interesting world. But last question comes from Nate. Oh, and our favorite era of gaming. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's hard for me to describe to really pick. I think it would be like, I mean, PS2 brought the real realization of like where games were going. But I mean, favorite era? I don't know. Part of me wants to say, oh, Sega Genesis when I was a kid.
It might
Ooh.
be SNES for me just because I didn't have one, but I would go to my friend's house and a lot of my favorite games were on there. But then I think there's just every era of gaming is good.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean, when I
problem.
think about it, they all had their really important things. Like the PlayStation 2 was massive, massively important.
I remember the midnight release of the PlayStation 2, getting one, and I was so broke because I only worked at Blockbuster. I saved all my money for the $300 it cost for that, or what was it, $199.99, for the system that I didn't have a game for like 6 months. Just had a PlayStation,
Oh,
but I worked
man.
at Blockbuster, so I would rent them.
You just rent stuff.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's PS2, but even the PS3 was a really big deal. Street Fighter 4 was a huge deal. So, but then when I think about it, for me, it's the answer is always the current era. Like the PS4, PS5 right now, I think is the best time in gaming forever because we have everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Except
saying.
for
It's
games.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Yeah.
hard to say what era because I would say PS4 is probably not it. There was a lot, but it feels like it was a short generation too. It's weird.
Yeah. And PS3, man, that was the era of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
I think-
that's what I'm saying. It might be PS3 because Dark Souls, Street Fighter 4. Good, James.
I was just gonna say, I think it's probably for me. It's probably SNES or the Sega Genesis era. Like I loved playing Nintendo, but I think I fell in love with gaming when I started playing Super Nintendo and Sega.
Super
Yeah, for sure.
Nintendo, Sega Genesis. That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The Sega Genesis is that's when I realized, like, oh, this is something I do. Is when I was a young kid in school and stuff, the only thing I wanted was video games. So, like, I got good grades on the report card, video game. Did something good in school, video game. Like, I didn't ask for shit. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. Everything was video game. Like, every Friday, can I rent a game? I don't give a fuck. I don't want to go see the new movie. I don't want to do anything. Like, that's when I realized that completing games, beating them. So the Sega Genesis was super important. I never had a Super Nintendo,
Okay.
but I love video games.
I do too. Our last question is from former host and former guest and former lover, Nathan.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a joke or not. I don't get it.
Okay, so he said, will Johnny Depp replace Mads Mikkelsen in the next Fantastic Beasts movie? You got to
Is that
think.
because
Johnny Depp was
Johnny Depp in the
Johnny
other one?
Depp was in the first one. Then it was Colin Farrell in the second one,
God, I hope so.
or it was Colin Farrell and then Johnny Depp, right? Because Johnny Depp.
That was the same movie. He was
Yeah.
like it was just his hidden
Yeah.
Okay.
form.
And then it was Johnny Depp in the second one, obviously, and then Mads Mikkelsen replaced him, and they just didn't even address it.
shit.
Apparently, he's just the same,
No, they don't.
different accent, different everything. Just like whoops.
Yeah. He didn't do bad, but I thought
I love
Johnny Depp
Mads,
was
though.
better.
Johnny
I like
Depp's an
Johnny
interesting
Depp
guy.
better.
Like he can be weird in
He
a good-
fits in the magical world, and as somebody that doesn't give a shit that he's magical, whereas Mads was just kind of like seemed like a muggle playing a world renowned wizard. Like it was, I don't know. It didn't work as well for me. He's great,
It's a
but
good
it
question,
just didn't
though.
like fit.
It's funny.
Huh?
So it's a good question. It's funny.
It is because it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have done it. We're at 3 hours and 22 minutes.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, it's one of those days that a girl
You
goes.
don't
late
want to
one.
wake up. Oh wait.
Everybody sucks. Don't really know why, but you want to fuck a guy because you love guys. Anyways, we love you guys. We will see you next week. Oh shit! I dropped my headphones.
Take care of yourselves, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah. But in reality,